necessarily in a bad way. Anxious can connotate lots of things.
No,
right?
I took it as a positive anxious.
Yeah. Listen, they're 0-3. It's relative. If they were 3-0 and rock solid out the gates and looking like a team that had very few flaws, that'd be a different kind of excited and anxious to see a team. This isn't that kind of anxious. This is, I am really curious kind of thing. Sort of, okay, Mike. What you got? What you doing tomorrow? What you do? You gonna roll out there with the same old, gonna be stubborn, kind of try to tell people I can get this, I can fix it, I can do it my way, or are you gonna concede that this didn't work out the way you'd hoped and it's time to switch things up? That's kind of first what I'm anxious to see.
I could do this.
That's sort of where I'm at, a little bit with that. There's other aspects of it too. I am excited about the weekend. I'm excited about some of the bets that I have and some of the games and some of the stuff that I went through. So listen, let me give you the background here. On Fridays we're loose. We just kind of talk a little bit here. We just all get together and have a little conversation. Happy Friday to you guys as well. There's Ron says, free the youngins. Nicely done. Mike says, what's up, fellas? And chat, go Knowles. Mike got us. We'll see. I don't know that he does. Easy Living says, Jeff, maybe if you drink enough, FSU's offense will start to look like USC's. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I doubled down today. Look at this. I don't often go with the garnet, but Tom, just for you, because you brought it up yesterday. Look what I got on, buddy.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
The seal.
That's a quality shirt is what this is.
The seal should be the logo for the university, not the block FSU.
I agree.
They want to embroider stuff, make it easier to sell.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sweaters.
Sure.
But, let's keep those things right where they are. I hope that they don't change the university signs. Maybe if there's kids out there listening, a little early to be in the sports talk radio or our demo, but I hope they don't take the seal off of the building signs. You go to the different halls.
Yeah.
Let's not do the block lettering. Come on. Keep the seal. It's gorgeous.
I agree.
Distinguished.
Marlon, great listener. Great fan. Hey, Jeff and Tom, has this team quit? Or when will they quit, if at all? Love the show. Always keep us Miami Knowles informed. Yeah. It's tough for you Miami Knowles right now. I kind of feel bad for you. I got a lot of friends that live down in Miami. A lot of friends that are surrounded. And they are, look, they're having to deal with a fan base that's excited for the first time in 20 years. There have been some imposter teams in those 20 years that they thought might be good, but they knew in their heart it wasn't good. This one might be really good. Interesting test for them against USF. That this could, okay, I waited and was hoping to get 17.5 from USF, and I was going to jump it. It got to 17, so I took it because I don't think it's going to get to 17.5. It did for a split second. If you got the line on a Sunday, I blew it and didn't get that then. By Monday, it was down to 17. Then it went all the way down to 16. I think it might have touched a 15.5 at one point. It's now back up to 17. As soon as it hit 17, I went, okay, I'll take my 17. It's the best I can hope for. I was not quick draw McGraw. I had other things I was doing on Sunday, so I didn't get it. And that's what happened. Let's check and see if that's right. Is that right?
What are we doing here?
Scott's saying that 93.3 doesn't sound like it's on. I don't believe that's true. Is that right? You wanna peek behind the curtains and hit the air monitor for everybody?
Seems accurate. You would have heard something. You would have heard an echo of your voice. So let me text the powers that be.
Let's see what's going on with that, man. That is not going to get it done. Shout out to my friend Gus, whom you've met, Jeff, who's a Miami fan and has a birthday tomorrow. To jog your memory, he looks like Hootie. Yeah, I remember. There are a couple Miami fans that I'm somewhat happy for. Not many, but there are a few out there. Back to us for a second. I'm really curious. Does he go into this again? Does he do this thing again where it's the same thing? I'm going to have a hard time believing that. I would be surprised if you didn't see some changes. Have you watched any more of Cal?
Yeah.
I really like their defensive structure. I guess you would say, Tom, in looking at it, they're multiple, but they do. I guess their base is a 4-2-5 like ours.
Yeah, it's formed a little differently.
It is.
Most of the time, they only have two guys with their hand in the dirt.
Yes, with the ends. Yes,
the ends both standing up.
It is kind of weird, but they really funnel everything to that linebacker. That the Buchanan kid's a stud.
It almost looks like a 3-4 in a way. I'm not going to pretend to know the schematics of what to call it, but it's two guys with hands in the dirt over the ball, or they're two defensive tackles. And then from there, they deploy a whole bunch of different options, angles. They will they'll bluff and drop 8. They'll bring 6 when you don't think they're bringing 6. They get downhill from the safety level. Like it's something that you have to be on your toes for. The thing is, their corners I don't think are very good. But again, I mean, what are we bringing to the fight here? Like a paper fan, or are we bringing an actual blunt force object? Because it certainly ain't going to be a automatic weapon of any kind. We don't have much to bring to the fight in the passing game right now. So I don't know that we could take advantage of the fact that their corners aren't very good. But in the box, they are multiple, and they could do a lot of things that Memphis did in terms of stacking and bringing the heat if they want to do
I know they like their linebackers, and I would like them too. With the way that they play, they're fun. They're physical. They can run. They're smart. There's a lot, I think, that you would like about watching Cal's defense week to week, especially since we've watched our defense week to week. And that's, you might say, well, does this concern you? Of course, but it concerns me a little less because I'm more concerned about, frankly, all that we're not doing on offense. So I know Cal could present problems of their own, but I really want to see what we're attempting to do before I assess Cal. They're kind of one and the same because it's our bad offense going up against that defense. But a lot of this we've had to turn inward, haven't we? We've had to look really at ourselves with the lack of blocking, lack of execution, inability to hit open guys, to protect themselves in terms of, pre-snap with DJ kind of maybe not knowing where to go with the football, not understanding what he's looking at, not checking the right protections, players dropping passes, not blocking for one another out on the perimeter. This list is long. Some would call this the proverbial laundry list of problems. You've had backs drop wide open screen passes that are going to go for 20, 30, maybe even scores. There have been a lot of issues, if you want to hit it. There have been a number of, issues, Mike.
There have been issues.
Too many to count.
Yeah, the thing about Cal is you can fool them, even those linebackers, vaunted as they might be. I mean, when they decide what to do, they play at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So they play fast. They play with leverage. They play for each other.
They're physical too.
They play within. Yes, absolutely. They get downhill. They're physical. Mm-hmm. They will stay in their gap so that somebody else can rally to the ball and make a play if it doesn't go their way. They play unselfish. Like, these are the things that we don't do with any consistency. That'll drive you nuts. I think if you transported their mentality into the bodies of some of our linebackers, you would be very impressed with what we have. But unfortunately, that's something that cannot happen. These guys are physical, but you can trick them. Sometimes they're a little slow-footed. Sometimes they'll catch a block. And you go, oh, man, you had all that fierceness of play before, but it looks like you've got a little bit of Olay in this situation. But in general, this is an opponent where you have to know what you're doing quicker because they decide to play at 100 miles an hour within their scheme. So perimeter blocking, let's use Hakeem more at that. I thought when we got him back, we would do that, not have Jaylen Brown leading the way for Hakeem. He can't block. Maybe at some point in his career, but he can't do it. You knew that in in Dublin against Georgia Tech. Things like that, because they get downhill and they play physical. They're Cal for a reason. They're not lighting the world on fire defensively, but they play to their scheme and they play smart, something that we just don't consistently do.
It's tough. It's tough to describe a team that doesn't always know what they're doing. And look, man, you go back a ways and it's this confusion that we're describing on offense anyhow for us has been kind of omnipresent for a little while here.
Well, and the way that they are multiple at their second level, because you can even count those two edge rushers as a second level because their hands not in the dirt. So what, you're going to put us in conflict again on the offensive line where we're not communicating and allowing guys to, just blow right past you in the A gap or the B gap? Like these are the concerns that a front like that would present. Just like on the other side, the way they use their H-backs and their tight ends, you think, oh God, that's not good for us. They use split zone runs an awful lot, number 8, which is a movement of the H-back and the tight end to block the backside, but then they'll release that backside tight end into a route, and you better be on your P's and Q's.
They got a good tight end. They use their tight end.
87.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good. They also use 10, and it looks like 10's a wide receiver, but a lot of times that motion for the split zone is actually way the hell out wide, so this guy's got forward momentum at the snap. It's actually pretty smart.
It is smart.
It's almost like kick return momentum or kick coverage momentum. You're going to hit somebody harder if you're running for 20 yards instead of 6. So, again, communication, passing things off, it's going to be tested in a different way this week, but they're going to test you.
Rico Knoll writes, in more important news, Jeff, your mom beating you in your picks? She is. She's up 4. She'll join us today. I recorded it. She is on the road again My mom is a road warrior these days. She's on the road this weekend or today. And so I had to call her and get her up and say, let's go. Let's make some picks. And she was feisty. She was ready to go. She's feeling good. Games are tough this week, Tom.
Yeah.
Also got Lee Sterling's picks in here. He had another winning week last week, guys. Not going to lie, my man has begun the year on a nice streak. He's yet to have a losing week for the games he's picked on this show this year so far. 3-2 last week, 4-1 the week before, 5-0 the week before that. He pulled a Tom Lang. I will tell you this. Last night went as the season has gone for me as a prognosticator. I lose the Jets New England spread, and I get the under on the prop bet. So, in fact, what's his face had 0 yards. So
there you go.
It was an easy prop bet. Maybe I'll just bet prop bets from here on out.
So that puts you at 11-11 on the season?
It's ridiculous.
Or 16-16?
It's something. It's 500. It's 500. That's what it is. It is 500, buddy. That's what I've got going on these days. It makes me laugh. Yesterday, that was KJ Osborne, by the way, that I had the under on the yards, and he well under. So we go into the weekend at 500 again because of what happened last night. And remember, the games are, I took a flyer that Florida had quit. If they have it, they'll beat Mississippi State, and I'll lose that game. But if they have, give me Mississippi State. I took Cincinnati -3.5, Tulane -3, LSU -24, Iowa -2.5, Southern Cal -5.5, Illinois +8 against Nebraska, and BYU versus K-State under 49. Now, in my real life, I've got a parlay, Tom, that I feel good about.
How many ways? How many legs?
Where's my phone? There it is.
Uh-oh. You have to count.
No, I forget if I added this last part. I was busy, and I was double checking a couple of numbers. I also wanted to
Nick's
see
under 212 passing yards.
Well, I definitely
plus.
wanted to listen to rookie quarterbacks. God, so I was doing some NFL research this morning because I'm in 3 or 4 NFL pools this year, in addition to my college football pool that I'm in addition to just whatever wagers I have. So I thought, let me double check some numbers. Let me double check some personnel. Also, being down 4 to my mom this early after losing last year, I'm starting to tighten the screws here, Tom. I'm starting to pay attention. We got no more casual picking going on here. I got to get locked in.
Also, to D person in the chat, don't look at interception statistics when you're looking at how good corners are. They have a ton of interceptions. But if you
One kid has 4.
Well, he says they got great corners. What are you talking about? There's a lot of wide-ass open receivers for Peyton Thorne to hit in the Auburn game, and he bothered to hit none of them. And you tell me that San Diego State's going to give you an indication of how good a corner is or not? Stop. Now, here's the problem, is we can't make a pay either. So whatever.
Yeah, I was just about to say. It's a 6-leg parlay, Tom.
6-leg parlay.
But it's kind of all
call
over
it the insect.
It's almost all over the map here. It's some props mixed with some lines mixed with some outrights. I think I'm gonna curse it and tell you that I think it's a winner. I think it's a big money winner. I think it's happening, which means I'll lose the first leg. That means I'll lose the very first leg.
Is it Illinois, Nebraska tonight?
The very first leg is Ravens Cowboys over 48.
27-20.
Over 48 points. No, those two defenses, forget about it. Come on, let's go. Let's go. We're going over here. Now, that's the first leg. That's how we started this thing, was a little, tell me the story of the game. I'll tell you the story of the game. These two teams are scoring on one another this weekend. So I'm starting with that one. I'm not going to get the rest of the parlay. I'm not throwing that out there for people's business. I'll let you know if I win. You'll know if I won. There'll be a glow to me on Monday when I walk in. Perhaps a new car. There'll be. It's a good one. It's a good one. You do realize, and I certainly realize, that parlays are a dumb man's game. You know, it's just you're playing.
It's pure entertainment.
You're
value.
playing into their hands. Yes,
Look, man, would you rather spend $11.50 on a 24-ounce soft drink,
right,
or put $11 at a stadium just to sit next to a guy who's wasted and can't think straight and might puke on you? Or would you rather put $11.50 down on a 6-leg parlay, and you never know, maybe the first 3 hit and you get some juice?
We don't always. Loosey Goosey Fridays are interesting this way. I do want to at least acknowledge of something that I'm grateful for. Here you go on a Friday. I want to give you something that I'm grateful for, Tom.
Okay.
I'm grateful that I am alive during the time that Shohei Ohtani is playing baseball. It is the coolest damn thing in the world. I care about this stuff. I love this stuff. I love history. I love iconic players. You know, I love the guys that you're going to tell your grandkids about if you're lucky enough to be around that long. The guys that you got to see play that were transcendent, and maybe in some cases transcended in a way that immortalized them as the very best to ever do it. You know, like I can only imagine what it would have been like. And it's a little different when the sport has a lot of years underneath it, behind it, right? When it's, we've been playing this for 150 years and nobody's ever done this. So that's a little different than they've been playing this for 30 years or somebody's not done this in 20 years. So I can only imagine back in the day when people first peaked Wilt Chamberlain. You know, like just an athlete at that size, they literally changed the rules of the game because of Wilt Chamberlain. Like the league had to alter the rules because of Wilt Chamberlain. Like this is too much. Yeah, you guys talk about Mike and sorry ass Mike and this guy here. This is crazy. So I wasn't around for that, right? You know, but we did get to see Michael Jordan. We did get to, I got to watch Michael Jordan at North Carolina and then go through to Chicago and all that transpired. And I got to see Magic and Bird. I got to see like these transcendent, amazing, all-time great top 100 players. We got to see Tiger. You know, your dad, my dad's generation, got to watch the rise of Arnie and Jack. You got to see Jack become the greatest golfer to ever live. And then when nobody thought that title for Jack could ever be rivaled or even approached, Tiger Woods emerged. And while you can certainly argue Jack's career over Tiger's career, what you can't argue is that nobody had a more dominant 3-year window in the history of the game than Tiger Woods.
Correct.
So and then we get into the devil in the details about their careers. But the point is, like, that's cool. We got to see that. We got to watch that. We got to, like, we take for granted that, when a guy wins 4 or 5 times in a given season on the PGA Tour now, we're like, well, this is insane. He's won 5 times or 6 times. Like, Tiger won 10 multiple times. Like, it was insane.
The golden age of NFL quarterbacking as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same dudes. It actually had a fatigue factor like tennis does, or tennis did, with Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. You thought, okay, is nobody else going to rise up? And for a period of time with Manning and Brady and Breeze, and you could throw Roethlisberger in there for a moment here or there. You're like, it's been 12 years.
Right,
they just going to do this in perpetuity?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? But then when it's gone, you go, boy, oh boy. We've got a dearth here. You might have a guy or two, but you don't have this era that you had where it was just every year somebody was setting a brand new record. All-time touchdowns, single-season touchdowns, yardage records, completion percentage records, everything was falling. And Rodgers obviously was in that conversation for a long time too. He had a good night last night.
Looked like himself again for the first time in a long time, buddy. Jets fans are pumped. Should be. Oh, David, Acuna's deal last year was incredible. It was celebrated as such, and it should be. And I, too, thought it was incredible. David, if you recall listening to the Jeff Cameron show, a certain radio host may have picked Acuna that year to win the MVP before the season started, and I just needed him to stay healthy because he frequently is never healthy, and that's true again this year. But last year was truly special. We had never seen it done, and it was awesome. But there is a difference in that this has also never been done, and Ohtani is a Cy Young caliber pitcher when healthy. He didn't pitch this year because he's playing with a torn ligament, but he's now throwing, and we have seen him pitch. He is the most complete player we have ever seen play the game and has done things when you couple the offensive prowess with the dominance on the mound. This is why it's Ruthian, and it's surpassed Ruth. It's unreal. It is, and it's in an era where it is harder than ever to hit. Everybody throws 105 out of the bullpens. Starters don't go back through the third time around. It's insane. So that's why it's like, well, I give Acuna and Ohtani more credit than Babe Ruth's best season, frankly.
So what you're going to have happen with the grandkids is, so you mean to tell me that the Angels had Ohtani and Trout
and
at
never
the same
won
time?
a damn thing?
And they didn't go to the playoffs?
Yeah.
But they also had Albert Pujols for a few years of the back end of his prime with Mike Trout, and they didn't go to the playoffs? Yeah, that's right.
That is correct.
That's right.
That's correct. Imagine being an Angels fan, son. Imagine how tough that would be. By the way, I also like, and we're going to go to break, I also like when something like this, when somebody's approaching something like this, and we've heard for, a month and a half about the track that Ohtani was on to possibly be 50-50. And he's now surpassed that. We're still counting. I also like it that when the achievement occurs, the person does it in grand style. So it's like a guy hitting, Ted Williams hitting a home run in his final at bat. Derek Jeter. Those moments are incredible when it happens, right? Ohtani had, by any account, one of the single best days for any baseball player, offensive baseball player, in the history of the game on his way to surpassing 50-50. He went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. 6 for 6. He tried to stretch a double into a triple, or he would have hit for the cycle as well. I mean, that's the silliest thing in the world, to go 6 for 6 and drive in 10. He stole 2 bases along the way. And he's the first ever member of the 50-50 club in baseball history. His 51 home runs also, by the way, set an all-time Dodgers franchise record, breaking whose record? Previous.
Oh, no.
You're going to like this, Tom, because it's going to remind you that we once watched the steroid era.
Piazza?
No, I like that you went there. Sean Green, sorry ass, hit 49 home runs.
Sean Green.
49 home runs.
Oh,
did we really,
goodness.
Sean? Come on now. Come on now. And Chavez Ravine, did you? That's the other part. That park is huge.
That
My
park
man's
is
gone.
large.
It's not.
Sean Green. Oh, wow.
49 home runs in 2001. The best part of the 6 for 6, 2 stolen bases, 3 home run, 10 RBI performance to break the records in LA. Well, they were playing the Marlins. Is that the Marlins manager, Skip Schumacher, was caught on tape being a good man, a real competitor. At the time that Ohtani was 4 for 4 with a home run with a couple of doubles at that point, first base is open. There's a runner at second and third with 2 outs. Ohtani comes to the plate. Understandably, the Marlins catcher looks over to see if they're going to walk Ohtani because they can't get him out. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the home runs and the hits. They're not cheapies. The opposite field upper deck at that park, the Marlins park is huge too. I mean, it's nuts. He goes upper tank down. But anyhow, Schumacher is seen, and I've got to be careful, mouthing the words, F that. I have too much respect to do that. I'm not going to effing walk him.
It's a poor decision, but okay.
It's the right decision. Nobody there to watch that man get walked. Let's go.
Hey, man, we need the force at all bases.
But they quite clearly, the camera tried to move. There's another angle where you see the rest of it, but the one camera shot is straight on, and he's like, F that. Walking him. He's offended. I'm like, there you go, buddy. There you go. That's the way to be a man. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Honey, I'm home.
We're in here, honey.
So why are all my friends here?
Have a seat, Dave. We need to talk about your problem.
Problem? I don't have a problem.
Dave, you do have a problem. A problem with your grill. Here's some pamphlets from Hearth and Patio. They are waiting for your call to help you upgrade your grill.
If you or someone you know needs a grilling intervention, call Hearth and Patio today at 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282 or hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
We're all going through our own fitness journey. We want to get the most out of our time in the gym or with a trainer. We want to eat the right things and do the right things to be in the best shape possible. Why not find out exactly where you're at in that journey by getting a DEXA scan today? It's the most accurate measurement of all body composition methods. It is the gold standard in what is used in clinical diagnosis, the only method that can determine bone density and give a direct measurement of visceral fat. You can do so and save a bunch of money. That's why I'm here, guys. Use Jeff25 as a discount code for 25% off any of the services at DexaFit. It's not just a DEXA scan. They have red light therapy that helps accelerate wound healing, pain relief, muscle recovery, improve circulation, skin health. They'll also give you tips on personalized nutrition with weight management, fitness optimization. These are all things that you want to do to help correct imbalances. Go see our friends at DexaFit and save right now. Use code Jeff25. Discount code Jeff25 for 25% off any services at DexaFit.
Pinch a Penny Pools has the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the city. You might even call it Tallahassee's Hot Tub Hub. 12,000 square feet of hot tubs with over 50 of them on site. Over 20,000 gallons of tub capacity to choose from. That's 4,620,000 cubic inches of hot tubs. But I digress. So why should you own a hot tub from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. Number one, health benefits, of course. The healing powers of soaking in a hot, bubbling pool of water go back centuries. Google it. Number two, Pinch a Penny has hot tubs with technology called Freshwater IQ. It gives you real-time chemical readings and tells you exactly what to add to keep the water at peak perfection. With automated analysis to help you control the chlorine and pH. It's hot tubs for dummies. Sign me up. Number three, they have the best prices, of course. Plus, you get a free accessory and no interest financing. Easy peasy. But if you don't want to take my word for it, check them out yourself. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. Locally owned, locally operated, and the easiest way to find relaxation at home.
Football. Well, it may not be living up to our expectations yet, so I'm going to try to give you something to look forward to. Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. This month, we asked Nissan for a lift on two of our best vehicles, and as usual, they answered, so listen to this. 2024 Titan trucks have 0% financing for 60 months, plus each and every Titan on our lot is now marked down $5,000. Plus, Titan has America's best warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Or if you're interested in an SUV with $2,000 bonus cash and $1,500 loyalty cash on the Nissan Armada, you can save up to $5,000 on each and every Armada on our lot and get 3.9% financing for 60 months. Or just like last month, we can put you into a brand new Nissan Sentra starting at $420 a month, no money down. Some of the best deals of the year on some of Tallahassee's favorite vehicles. Come see us today at Kraft Nissan. Remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I forget, Tom. When do we run, Lee? Is that in the next segment here? I can't remember. I forgot to introduce it anyhow. It's kind of my fault. It's done. We have the picks. We can get to them here in a second. Yeah, Jeremiah, I just saw you in the chat while I was in the break here, getting caught up on some other things. Yeah, man. Should have come up and said hello. I was there last night. watching Leon lose again. Although I think in the second half they may have finally found a quarterback. Good news.
All right.
I'm not
the
dogging.
Leon quarterback battle on Front Street. I see you.
Well, their starting quarterback, who was really good last year, and they had a winning record and all that. He broke his collarbone in the first game of the season, and I was like, "Man, that's that grand opening, grand closing, great." I mean, he's really good, but he broke his collarbone in the first game of the season, and I knew that was it. And they unfortunately, the other kid, who's not a bad kid at all, and maybe going to be a good player, was thrust into a spot where he wasn't ready. But they got a kid now, and I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. You emerged last night.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You can be delicate with these topics.
Well, the high school kids, come on, man. I mean,
well,
yeah.
I don't know.
So I had a
principles are principles.
I had a pretty crazy dad moment last night. Bryce made an awesome catch.
Took the shirt off, waved it over your head, and started a fight?
Not at all. He made an awesome catch. It was down the seam on 3rd and long. And it was one of those catches where it's out of the reach of the receiver. And I'm thinking, well, the ball's in the air, and I know it's intended for him in the center of the field. So my interest is peaked because it's in the middle of the field where you can get blown up. But I also see, as soon as it's released, like, hey, can he make that catch? Can he get to that? It's 3rd down and long. I kind of need him to get to that, but at the same time, like, make sure you don't get, because it's high. Like, missing over the middle high is a recipe for disaster. So my head is processing all of this as it's happening. And he did the right thing. He ran through the ball and had to do the catch by the end of the ball and then bring it back in, and he did. And he ended up making that play. It's a great catch. Probably the best catch I've seen him make in a game. And he got hit pretty well, and he ended up spraining his ankle, but he played through because he's a Cameron. We're not going to come out of the game. But he ended up also, Tom, having a pretty terrible drop later in the game. And you talk about the highs and the lows, like this great catch and then an easy catch that he just took his eyes off the ball. He was looking to run before he caught it. And in both circumstances, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be proud of me. 0 reaction. Great catch. Drop pass. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you got from me, buddy.
Well,
that's all you got from me.
Bryce, understand the pressures of now tens of thousands of people learning about your performance. Okay? Be prepared for this later in life.
I just stayed very calm. Very calm. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Can you boo paid NIL high school kids? R. Wilmer's asking. I'll tell you this. You're seeing these stories now, right? You're starting to see the whole idea of what's going to happen with certain kids in certain high schools. I think it will always be about the outliers. If you have transcendent ability and it's obvious and on display as a senior in high school, those payments have always been coming. They have always been there. For the Emmitt Smiths of the world, dare I say, while at Pensacola Escambia, pretty sure Florida made sure he got more than a scholarship. And I don't blame him. That's the thing. I don't blame him. I'm not saying that, hey, was Bob Sura's recruitment Florida State basketball on the up and up? Some would say no. I don't know. Remember seeing his beautiful red, I think it was red Corvette at Discount Liquors one night when I was there while in school, and I thought, nice Corvette that Bob Sura's driving. So it's always been there, man. It's always been part of it. Now it'll just be out in the open.
So how about high schoolers? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Leon going to have a couple of Corvette driving seniors next year?
No, unfortunately, no, they will not. They don't. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But if somebody wants to bribe the Cameron family, Bryce is having a good year. I'm here. I'm here for you. It's not gonna be a thing. Let's get to Lee Sterling's wagers. He's had a good start to the year. He's yet to have a losing week on the show. Let's see who he likes. I'll react to it in a second. This might be redundant because I recorded it this morning. Here you go. It's Libations Friday. That's a good thing. These days, if you're a Florida State fan, you need those libations. You need all the libations you can get in yet. And by the way, speaking of which, happy hour today. Myself, Corey Clark, will be there at the Corner Pocket for a meet and greet. Swing on in. Tomorrow, pregame show, Hotel Indigo. They also have cold beverages and a great view of Doak Campbell Stadium. If you don't like what's going on the field, outside of it, still a lot of fun. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Another winning week last week, 3-2. Let's see if we can keep this thing rolling, Lee. It's always good to see you, buddy. It's been nothing but winning weeks, buddy. Nothing but winning weeks for you.
Yep, haven't had a losing week. Let me ask you, with the renovation in the stadium, what is the seating now and what is it going to be when they finish?
Yeah, it's all the way down to like 51.3 or something like that, 53,500, something like that, somewhere in that low 50s right now. It's a nightmare right now, Lee. Like, they couldn't have picked a worse time to also suddenly be bad out of nowhere. It's like it's tough for the fans right now.
What will be the capacity when they?
I think 75, 70, somewhere 75. Yeah, it used to be,
and it'll be ready next year for the opening game?
Yeah. Next year. They're ready for next year. So you have to bite the bullet with these things. There's no easy way to do stadium renovations.
Right.
You're just like, hey, fans, sorry, this is what we got to do. It's all about amenities and all about the things that people want in the game experience now, Lee. It's not.
And they'll probably, Jeff, add on the 10% fee soon almost at every college.
It's going to have to happen, right? If the fan will get screwed again.
I'm going to have to get up there for a game. You're coming down this year, right?
We'll see. We'll see, Lee.
Jeff, I'm going to treat you to Joe's Stone Crab.
I know. I've been to Joe's. It's great. But I'll go. Okay. If you're treating me.
Jeff, have you ever walked in without even breaking stride to Joe's?
No.
Okay. So I've got a connection.
We're doing
There's a 50-50 chance that you don't even slow down and walk straight to your table. How would that be night before the game, huh?
I'm going to need that, Lee, because the game's not going to go well.
Probably not.
No, it's not going to go well.
Might be for me.
It would be for you. All right, let's get going. Louisville is a 10.5-point favorite, 10, depending on where you look, over Georgia Tech. That's a meaty number, Lee. I like this Louisville team, but I don't think Georgia Tech's that bad. Talk to me about what you see in this game.
I would agree with you. So on offense, Louisville's pretty good. If they keep their quarterback, they keep him upright, which he's had some injuries over his career. This is his third school, I think. Started at Oregon, then went. Did he go to Baylor? I think he went to Baylor.
There was a brief respite somewhere in there, yeah.
Either or maybe Texas Tech. I'm not sure, one of those. He's pretty good. They are deep. They go like 5 or 6 deep at running back. Even Cheney, the kid from Miami. I mean, he only had 3 carries last week. They got 2 kids with the same name that I think are really good. Isaac Brown and Kenyon Brown. They also, I thought they were going to be hurt at receiver once they lost Lacey, the kid from South Alabama. But the guys have stepped up here. Brooks from Bama, originally from Miami, and also Jaden Thompson from Cincinnati, done a nice job. But I don't think their defense is up to snuff to stop good teams with good offenses. And I think 10 points is a little too high. I think they'll win the game. I think it's going to be like 38-35. It's whoever makes the last stop. But I think 10 points is too much.
It was a wild game between those two last year. Clemson's given up a big number as well when we're talking about ACC play here, 20.5 against NC State. I get NC State got their doors blown off by Tennessee. That's a very different offense than Clemson's offense. Is 20.5 too rich or no?
It's down to like 18.5. So it started at 17.5. And then Grayson McCall, the news came out that he was not going to play. And then it went to 20.5. And last night shot back down to 18.5. So the kid Bailey, CJ Bailey, he is from the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. I've seen him actually play a couple times. Started as a 9th grader, talented kid. I think he's going to have trouble with the blitz here. I think Clemson's going to come after him. I think their defensive line will dominate anyway. So they're going to be so busy just trying to pick up those first 4 guys. When they send blitzes, I think they're going to have success here. Except for Concepcion, they just don't have many weapons. NC State in their defense. They don't have a guy to have a good defense. You always will notice this. pay attention to this. I think you see it. If you have a good defense, you usually have someone on the defensive line, really good, that keeps pressure, that where if he's double teamed, someone else can make a play. A linebacker that can make plays in space. And I'm talking about like 3rd and 5, make a tackle before the chains and force the team to punt, and at least one real good defensive back. And North Carolina State doesn't have anyone. That's a real problem here. Clemson game, I know they were playing App State, but I think Klubnik finally, for the first time, I'm like, wow, he looks comfortable. Level of competition wasn't there, but I think the green light might have finally, almost 2 years later, come on for the kid. They've got some better receivers than they did last year. Some guys have really progressed, and they've recruited fairly well. I'm going to take Clemson blowout here, 52-20.
Yeah, I can see it. I was wondering where you were going to go with that, and I can see it. I actually think Clemson might be good, Lee. I think
so too.
We're judging them against what happened against Georgia,
and in that first half of that game,
they were good.
That game should have been tighter. They should have probably been in the lead, and I think they went into the halftime saying we did everything we could, and we still couldn't pull it out, and it got out of hand.
Well, they couldn't move the ball, and if they could have moved the ball at all, they would have been right there. Here's what's interesting, Lee. I've been waiting to see if I could get this USF number up to 17.5. And if I could, I would take South Florida at home in Tampa to keep it reasonably close against your Canes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Miami's very good. But all of a sudden, we don't really know how good because Florida has straight up quit.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, like dismantling Florida was nice, but I don't know what that even means because Texas A&M just did it as well. So USF
with a backup quarterback too.
Right. And
did you see the move that quarterback made late in the game?
Oh yeah.
That was like holy.
Yeah, he can move. He's got something to him, doesn't he? Well, and USF was down by a point in the fourth quarter to Alabama. And so that score is so misleading. By the way, there were wide open receivers all night for USF that kid couldn't hit. So I don't know. This could be interesting, right? This might be an actual test for Miami. Talk to me here.
I agree. There's a lot of variables to this game. So I think Alex Colt's a really good coach. Maybe he's going to be the next Florida coach. Maybe. We'll see. He's putting together a good program. So I think this line should have been 12.5, 13. Should not be around 17. There was some 17.5, 18. I grabbed an 18 on Sunday afternoon. An 18. So a couple other friends of mine got 17.5. I think it's going to sit at 17, maybe go down to 16. So if you got 17, I would probably take it now. Pretty good at reading lines. Here's the thing about them. They're going to present some problems, I think, to Miami. So this kid, Brown, he decent passer, not great, misses some open receivers, had 26 touchdowns last year. He ran for 800 yards, had 11 touchdown runs. Miami has not faced a dual threat quarterback. That could present some problems. They've got some quality backs. But the only negative thing that scares me is they go hurry up. If you don't have as good a talent, I mean, you can play hurry up against average teams, bad teams, and you'll wipe them out. You'll win. You do it against Alabamas and Miamis that have more talent than you. What you're doing is you're going from maybe an 8-9 possession game to 14-15. And then Alabama, both games, they ended up getting blown out in the fourth quarter. I think also the Miami linebackers in space can be had in coverage. So I think they're going to try to get the backs in one-on-one situations against the linebackers. I'm going to say Miami wins 35-23, but USF covers.
Pretty fun game. By the way, speaking of getting the linebackers isolated, trying to cover tight ends and running backs, Florida State simply can't do it. Florida State simply can't cover linebackers. I mean, with their linebackers at all. It's sad. Cal is a buttoned up team. I was surprised that Florida State was favored. At this point, Florida State's revealed who they are, which is not very good. That said, I don't know. Maybe they wake up this weekend. They've got more talent than Cal, but they had more talent than their last three opponents and couldn't get the win. Does Florida State wake up or does Cal add to the misery? Florida State's given two.
I just can't back them until I see something. So they had that bye week. I thought the week that they were going to put it together was the last game. Didn't get the job done. I know the Cal quarterback played at Columbus down here. He's nothing special, not much of a runner, not a great passer, but he throws that 10, 15 intermediate pass, okay, not the long ball. Best player on the field might be the kid Ott, running back. He's a special guy. Now, he's had that ankle injury. If he's able to be 90, 95%, he might be able to do some damage here. I hate to say it. I just can't back Florida State yet. I like Cal here, 24-21.
I completely get it. By the way, how about my Bucks on the road in Detroit getting that win, buddy? How about my Tampa Bay Bucks? They were physical, man. That was good stuff. And they were beat up.
They were.
And they still got that win. Now it's Denver coming to town with Bo Nix. Listen, these rookie QBs, you and I will get into a conversation about NFL quarterbacks later on, but buddy, this is a nightmare-looking class so far. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I think eventually Williams and also Daniels will be fine, but just shows you back in the day, rookie quarterbacks, except for like Jim Plunkett and
they sat the bench.
And Peyton Manning, if you've seen the commercial. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year. There's something to be said about sitting. So that was a revenge game for the playoff loss. They were fired up for that game. Remember here now, you got Denver coaching staff, Carmichael and also the head coach. These guys, they gave Tampa some problems over the last half of their coaching careers in New Orleans. Also, without Benavide may not be able to go. He's got that grade 2 knee sprain. When he's in, he's a difference maker here. I think they're going to win this game 23-20, but I think this is a trap line. I think Denver's going to cover.
I get it. Trap lines are all over the NFL. This weekend is crazy. This is a crazy weekend because a lot of desperate teams at 0-2, Lee. Free play of the day is the game everybody wants to know. So how can they get Tennessee and Oklahoma? Tennessee favored by a touchdown in Norman. That's crazy.
What a great game. But, hey, they're outscored their opponents 191-13. And you also got the revenge factor. You know, got a head coach that played in Norman, got fired as the offensive coordinator.
Won a Heisman at Oklahoma.
Heisman at Oklahoma. A lot of things going on here. So should be a fun game. First 10 callers to call 800-400-9741. I'm going to give them Tennessee and Oklahoma, the biggest game in college football, for free. 800-400-9741. How about this? Baker's Dozen this weekend.
Nice.
It's a promotion that everyone loves because normally you have to be a monthly or season subscriber to get my games. We open it up 2-3 times a year. 13 games combined Saturday and Sunday, just $97. And we've had some 12-1, 11-2, and 10-3 records on this promotion. And I'm so sure I'm going to have a winning record, Jeff. If I don't go 7-6 or better, next week is free. So $97 with a guarantee. I'm also going to hand them baseball through Sunday. We went 2-0 again. Last night, we're on a 19-5 run in baseball. One of our 2 selections last night, we did have the Mets. They won 10-6. But get this. This might be one of the greatest team total overs. We had the LA Dodgers over 4.5 runs. They scored 20 runs. Ohtani had 10 RBIs by himself. So we're going to, if you get the Baker's Dozen, when a window pops open, you'll get all 13 games. The baseball selections, if you take advantage of it, they'll be texted you probably about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern today and by 12 noon on Saturday and Sunday. So biggest weekend ever. This is the weekend to join. If you've never been with us or for some reason you were with us before and dropped off, hop on board. Baker's Dozen, 13 games, $97, one place, ParamountSports.com.
Be good, brother. Enjoy the weekend. Always a pleasure. Talk to you again real soon.
See you, Jeff.
Take care. Sterling there. That was recorded before we came on the air here today. But I will say this is a brief round out of said segment. I see where you're wondering what would happen if Brock sucks. Well, that would be the same, guys, as what we've seen so far, only you'd be learning something about the future of the segment group, and that is necessary. You need to find out what you got in Brock. We know DJ's not going to be here next year, so that's that. That's where we're at. You got to find a way. How much time do you need out of me? That's it. That's the music. Hour number 2, we'll see my mom kick my ass in picks. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
news now.
A Tallahassee couple, both lawyers, are now suspended from practicing law in Florida. Sarah and Gabriel Warren were arrested in March for sexual battery. The couple took a plea deal for lesser charges and apologized to the woman they were accused of assaulting. The Florida Supreme Court suspended them from the bar on Wednesday. 3 people have been hospitalized following a car crash involving 5 vehicles near Florida A&M's campus. 2 people had minor injuries while 1 had serious injuries. The crash happened at the intersection of Adams Street and Lincoln. The crash is still under investigation. There are no further details available at this time. A precautionary boil water notice has been initiated for Tulkwin Electric Cooperative members living in the West Regional Water System. Members in this area could notice low water pressure and discolored tap water. Members in the advisory should bring water to a rolling boil and allow it to cool before drinking or cooking. Clothes also may be stained if washed with the discolored water. This is Rachel Anae with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check.
This is a required monthly test of the emergency alert system. Had this been an actual emergency or dangerous situation, official messages and directions would have followed the alert tones. This test is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and your local broadcast station or cable provider. This concludes the required monthly test.
I want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like, families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch.
Or the Yeti, right?
Yeah,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And,
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Florida, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
When your AC unit decides to give up the ghost, it doesn't always pick the best time. But no matter what time, day or night, or day of the week, you can call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll be out to bring your AC unit back to life. We've been repairing and replacing heating and air conditioning systems in the North Florida and South Georgia area since 1974. So when your air conditioner stops working, call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning to the rescue.
Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Dream it, plan it, do it. Brian Barnard's Flooring America offers a straightforward way to shop with our streamlined shopping.
Finding the right flooring is simple. Visit our newly remodeled showroom featuring the Room to Explore shopping experience, where our knowledgeable staff will walk you through the steps.
Our family has been serving the area since 1976 with a local staff of more than 35 people trained in flooring sales and design. We know floors.
And we know styles. Let us help make your home timeless.
Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
Every journey starts with a first step, a daring step. But what they don't say about first steps is that you have to keep going, taking step after step, and eventually you take a big leap, accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. After 57 years, Tallahassee Community College is soaring even higher, and we're now officially Tallahassee State College. We invite you to take a step and visit Tallahassee State College. Learn more at tsc.fl.edu.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee.
Looking ahead to the weekend of college football, Florida State still looking for that first win of the season. They are going to wrap up their season-long 3-game homestand on Saturday when they are set to play host to Cal. Florida football, they are getting ready for a game against Mississippi State on Saturday as they have a league contest. Miami and South Florida will play against each other on Saturday, and Florida Atlantic, they are on the road against UConn. It's an off weekend for Central Florida. On September 28th next weekend, they are set to take on Colorado. And then NFL football on Sunday, the Buccaneers are going to host Denver, and the Dolphins, they'll play at Seattle.
This Sports Flash is brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun, and Gold. More than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Construction services. T-Spark.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those dark leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises. Roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Homeowners, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I want to talk to you today about consolidating your debt. Are you struggling with your monthly expenses? Consumer spending and overall debt are reaching all-time highs, while homeowners are sitting on trillions of dollars in untapped equity in their homes. Don't be afraid to walk away from that 2% mortgage while you're paying double-digit interest rates on credit cards and lines of credit and drowning in debt. Let's talk about how we can consolidate your debt, lower your overall monthly payments, and potentially save you thousands of dollars in the process. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, 954-369-6171. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I'm at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless in zero gravity. All of the weight and worry of life is melted away, and you fall into a state of profound relaxation. This is what you'll find at Tallulah CBD Mushrooms THC in Railroad Square when you try out their state-of-the-art floating pods. While you're there, shop for the best quality CBD, mushrooms, THC, and kava products available. Shop Tallulah today with 6 locations in Tallahassee and the Kava Bar Lounge in Bannerman Crossings. Online at TallulahSmokes.com.
Science-packed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Join Boys Town by providing direct care for youth in a safe and caring family-style living environment as a family teacher. Receive a $20,000 hiring bonus. Boys Town family teachers are a married couple that have the unique job of caring for children that are not their own by teaching, guiding, and preparing girls and boys for success in life. This is a live-in position. Join us in helping youth reach their full potential as a family teaching couple at Boys Town. Apply at jobs.boystown.org.
Live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Gonna buck up one more time. Once more into the breach. As we make our way into Doak Campbell Stadium tomorrow.
Let's buck up, everybody.
I am curious. Parents' weekend, usually it's built in. You're saved. You don't have any attendance issues. Well, when you're winning, you don't have any attendance issues. But when you're losing, that's true. And you wonder then when you have all of the other stuff that we're talking about, you think the parents come in droves to Tallahassee this weekend? I don't know.
Well, their children will bring them here.
I don't
Not
know.
the football team.
I think when you're in college, you weren't eager for your parents to visit. I don't think that's true. I don't think we really were like, I can't wait to see my folks.
Man, they came here like twice my entire undergrad.
Yeah.
So when they came up, I was like, oh, all right, they made it.
Twice. But if it had been 4 times, you'd have said, okay, that's about enough. Seems about enough. Like we coming every weekend. Is that what we're doing out here?
Show contributor Chris's dad came one time for a long weekend, and he stayed with us, and it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome because he felt the energy.
He had a good time. Yeah.
The old man reached back in time, and he said, all right, boys, what are we doing next? And then it got to 8:30, and he was done
dealing. No, my dad remembers very well my days and coming up here to visit and saying, good God, your apartment, son, get it together. You know, he's a neat freak. So do you think he loved walking in to an apartment? Me and Bill Logan, Bill, if you're listening, buddy, you know of which I speak. Berkshire Manor off of Ocala. Walking into that apartment circa 92, 93, you would have seen a few cups of dip, probably some plates that had some half-eaten pizza. You might have seen, and this was his, a sizable glass bong. You would have seen...
Sure it was.
Sure, it wasn't mine, Tom.
Of course not.
No. I used to say, what is that used for?
I don't, I don't believe you're capable of having one of those. Having listened to the show back in 2000 and insert year here, in the aughts,
you would have seen...
no way that my man has a glass bong in his house. He's got too much energy.
You would have seen a lot of, dirty laundry. That is correctly. You would have seen shirts that needed to be washed weeks ago, maybe even a month and a half ago. You would have seen a desk that didn't look like it was utilized as for anything other than a collection of CDs and beer. 4 or 5 empties, a lot of CDs stacked next to a boombox. We got you that desk to do your work.
Maybe the move-in checklist is on there. There was beer stains on it.
There was so many, yeah.
Please return to the leasing office once you've completed your move-in. Son, it's February.
Yeah, yeah, there would have been...
They're asking for renewals.
You would have seen a word processor. You would have seen that as well. A word processor, posters on the wall. You would have seen, one of them was a kick. Well, later on you saw a really kick-ass Goodfellas banner. But there, just a lot of things.
Yeah, mob movies, mob movie posters. That is a fixture on the wall.
Of college kids.
Yeah,
Mom. You want to know another fixture in an apartment of a 90s kid? A really cool picture of Marley smoking a joint, like a really good one. Like he's playing soccer with
didn't have the Johnny Cash middle finger.
No, but I knew people who did. Yeah. You'd have seen that. I did have an awesome voice machine
Voice machine.
The voice machine for people to leave messages.
Yeah. Answering machine.
Answering machine. It was a voice message answering machine.
Gotcha,
My voice message was always awesome.
Did you do the hello?
No, which is funny. No. I usually just took snippets from songs, but they were always, I can't repeat the one I had. I had one from the Beastie Boys.
Believe it or not,
No,
Jeff,
it was the Beastie Boys. Where it was like, wow, if it's going to be that kind of party, I'm going to the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you got if you called the house.
I went through my poster phase in middle school, early high school.
Yeah.
It's a great phase, though.
I had an awesome Jordan poster. I wasn't even a Bulls fan. It was an incredible picture of Jordan.
I had this sick, and I'm sure you can find it, but it's a brick wall Patrick Roy Montreal Canadiens poster. And it was before Photoshop, and it's clean.
Yeah.
It
it's
looks
clean. Yeah.
gorgeous. And I liked him as a player. Didn't give a damn about Montreal as a franchise. But it was just a stunning. If I can find it on eBay, I might still buy that and frame it. It's just a gorgeous looking poster.
Kyle, good job on the Brooke Burke poster. Very underrated era of about 4 years where Brooke Burke was stunning.
This is interesting. Yeah, and she was.
There was this little window where you're like, my God.
No debate.
Yeah.
There's no debate.
Yeah.
She did a lot of work for Entertainment.
Yes, she did. Now, she's never been Selma Hayek. Let's not confuse.
She's now at gas stations. Like the gas station thing. Brooke Burke was hosting something when I was filling the gas, and I hit the button to mute it. She's like, "Hi, Brooke Burke here." Burke here
She is? She's doing it? Oh.
Yeah.
You mean like at Circle K?
Yeah. When they, lately
it's
in
the
the
same
news,
one all the time, though.
Yeah.
It's always Cheddar News. It's the worst thing on earth. I hate it. I want to burn the pump down. I would never do that. Obviously, I'd blow the place up, but
she it'd be kind of cool. Speaking of First Blood, right?
We had lava lamps. Moment. We had lava lamps as well.
Lava lamps, yes. I
still like a good lava lamp. My wife won't let us have one, but I love a good lava lamp.
I felt strange about the pinup woman poster thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is.
I never understood it.
I didn't have that in my room, but if somebody had it out in the main room area,
much more acceptable.
We had
for some
Sports
Illustrated covers.
Yeah, you're like, okay. Yeah.
Like in the room, like,
Yeah, it would have been a little weird. Like, hey, what you doing in there?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I always found that strange. But yes, that's what a hot woman looks like. We all understand this. Now go to sleep.
Yeah, I too like a hot woman. You don't have to put it up on the wall of your bedroom there, Bob. That seems weird.
You got 4 of them, huh? Like some dudes would have 4 or 5 pinups.
Yeah, that's when you're like tough times. Well, you do realize we go to Florida State. There's a lot of real women are here. Yeah.
It's felt like,
the ones you can meet.
If you're gonna have somebody over and they walk into your room and they see all these pinups, like I don't know if that's the message you want to send.
And then a bunch of cans and bottle caps, like bottle caps. Bottle caps strewn across the place.
That is the 18 to 24-year-old version of Legos on the floor. Is the bottle cap, the upside down?
How many times
cap.
You stepped on one of those?
Oh dear God! Always when you had to pee in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that one actually broke the skin. And then you'd see little blood trails on the carpet.
Also, TVs are on in various rooms of the house at all times of the night. People falling in and out of sleep, comatose, in fact, from having been out on the strip, and nobody turning off their television.
Yeah. My favorite prank was if that happened to you in the common room, I would pull up something from late night variety entertainment.
Yeah.
And so I would turn that on, then turn it up and leave. And close the door quietly.
It's like, what is going on out there? What is happening here?
Don't fall asleep in the common room. Go upstairs.
If your NFL team is on the cusp of going 0-3 this weekend, know this. Not one team finished with a winning record who went 0-3 last year. You go 0-3, your season is over. I bring it up because the Jags are 0-2. Go 0-3, and you can slam the door on the Jags. You could argue that is the end of the Doug Peterson era of Jacksonville if they go 0-3. You do realize that Trevor Lawrence is on a 7-game losing streak. Well, Trevor has a grand total of 8 touchdown passes in his last 7 games. He has 1 touchdown pass in his last 51 throws. That is They're scoring 15 points a game over in Jacksonville.
Come on, babushka.
They're having tough times. Saw this stat. Touchdowns are way down in the NFL right now. We had that stretch there where offenses couldn't be stopped. Defenses are putting the kibosh on offenses right now.
What rules are they going to have to change now?
Here we go, right? Here's a group of players that you would think should have and could have and has in the past done better than this. Read this stat from, I think it was ESPN Stats and Info. I just jotted it down. I'd probably not give you proper credit, but I know that it's accurate. Here you go. So Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, the aforementioned, and Brock Purdy have combined this year to throw 375 passes. A grand total of 4 touchdowns between them. That's 1 touchdown every 69 throws.
Nice.
Thank you. Last year, that same group threw a touchdown 1 out of every 18 passes.
Wow. Jeez.
Goff leads the way right now, has 83 throws and 1 touchdown. And this was part of a collection of stats that we're talking, because offensive coordinators are being asked about why the struggles so far this year for offenses.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good number. I mean, we watched the game last week with Detroit and Tampa, and Goff threw the ball 50 some odd times. And Tampa was able to hold up in those circumstances. Down the stretch, when they needed it, red zone defense, all that stuff. But 50 odd throws and the yards per attempt were way down.
So, you know, these things come in waves in the NFL. Offenses catch up, end up dominating defenses. We wonder whatever happened to good defense, the rules we lament, and then the defenses figure things out, and now the offenses have to turn around and find a way to do better. But you know what I read this morning? That a couple of, seems to be, there's some commonalities here. Some head coaches, offensive-minded head coaches, as well as some OCs at various points were pointing out that nobody sees their offense anymore all off-season, all summer. They don't see each other. You know, these guys aren't showing up to these practice sessions because they don't have to. A lot of them, especially if they're veterans. And the starters don't ever play in the preseason anymore together. So the first time you see your starting offense together on the field in any sort of semblance of a meaningful game where the defense is actually game planning for them is game number 1.
Yeah, correct. They do get work in the joint practices, which you might as well just televise those instead.
Yeah.
Rather than the games. But, oh, you know what? I can't charge you full freight to come into the stadium and parking and all that kind of stuff for the joint practices. But that's where the work gets done with the ones, the good on good. But you're right. There is no game
There's
planning.
no game planning at all. And so there's that. And by the way, you might think, well, Detroit, you know, is there something that, because I give you those Goff stats, you know, he's only been sacked twice this year. He's not under a ton of pressure.
Right.
That's the other problem. It's like, well, no, he's got time. His offensive line's arguably the best in football.
Yeah, I don't think we had one last week.
I don't believe we did either.
That's 51 dropbacks?
55 throws.
55?
55 throws from Goff last week.
Yeah.
Which might speak to a problem. Like, if I were Detroit, I'd say, Vita Veda went down in the first half and we threw it 55 times? Fellas.
Yeah, they did run for a very healthy yards per carry on the ground.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Fresh off of the game against the Rams, where in overtime you ran it right down their throat.
And if you're Tampa, you're saying 55 dropbacks. We didn't bring them down once.
Yeah, no, that's frustrating. But we knew there was no elite defensive end play coming from Tampa Bay this year.
55 dropbacks. Maybe for 32 you whiff.
Well,
55.
And look around, man. The second year guys, like, so obviously Bryce Young has already been benched. Will Levis is pure ass.
Yes.
He's pure ass.
Yeah.
The rookie quarterbacks so far this year have thrown a combined 0 touchdowns.
It's a lot of throws.
That's a lot of nothing. That's a whole lot of nothing. So 0-2 teams a year ago, there were 9 of them. There are 9 of them again this year. In this week, I'm helping you out from a gambling standpoint, everybody. Pay attention. Do with this what you will. I've been wrestling with it. So 9 teams 0-2 a year ago, 9 teams 0-2 this year. Last year went up against it this week, week 3, the time you had to get a win in order to avoid the dreaded 0-3 where you're not making the playoffs, right? 5 of those teams last year won to avoid 0-3.
Barely over 500. Okay.
Well, and I would say this. One of them went on to have a great season. The Houston Texans were 0-2 after last year's start to the season. Then the kid figured it out.
Maybe Bo Nix figures it out in Tampa.
No, he's not going to figure it out. He's been terrible. Cincinnati, by the way, went on to have a winning record last year after starting 0-2, and they're 0-2 again this year. Looks like the Bengals need to get a win.
They are playing Washington.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
Any of these quarterbacks you mentioned would love to face the Commanders right now.
So I'll give you 2 teams that'll win this weekend that are 0-2, the Bengals and the Ravens. I think the Ravens.
Dallas?
Dallas.
Okay.
I think they're going to win. But how can you pick the Giants to win? And well, you maybe could this week. The Giants, Colts, and Titans all have sort of we might be able to win. It's something to behold here. The Dolphins too are not over because of the miracle comeback against the Jags on the fumble into the end zone and all that. But now you got to go to Seattle, and
that's going to go one of 2 ways.
They're going to win or get blown out.
They might. Well, and they're going to have 550 yards of offense, or they're going to get blown out. It'll be speed over the top, A-Chain. I know he's A-Chain, but A-Chain, I think that's more fun. Reminds me of the A-Train.
You know, the hard part, we kind of relate this to Florida State's season this year. So look at the fact that we talk about Florida State being 0-3 going into this game, and we're all devastated, and we're all frustrated, and we're all searching for answers, and we're all asking, what the hell? What the hell, Mike? But the thing that disturbs me most is it's something that would relate to rookie QBs currently, and that is in the NFL. Things don't get better for rookie QBs once there's tape on you. Defenses begin to know your tendencies, which way you like to roll, who's your number one option most plays. They figure out all of this through, game tape. Things get ratcheted up against you now. If you're being awful before anybody's ever seen you play in an NFL game, there's no guarantees these guys are suddenly going to, the light bulb comes off. Most assuredly it might with somebody. Like they get used to the speed of the game. Coaches are able to kind of dial some things back. Like, okay, he didn't do this very well, guys. We're not going to ask him to do this anymore right now. Let's lock in on these 4 things that he can do. He can do these 4 things. So there is that.
Well, yeah. So,
but I'm asking Mike to do that.
Right. Yeah. So for Florida State, offensively with what we put out there, if you're Cal, you might just stack because the hell with it. If he beats you over the top once, okay.
Maybe we have to adjust.
Well, no, do it 2 or 3 times.
Ooh, I don't know. Cal's offense is going to light it up if we care to be there. I'm not getting down 14.
Prove it. You could say, well, what do I have to go on? 1 throw to Malik Benson and a pass interference to Toafili. That's it.
But the point I was going to make, Tom, that concerns me isn't just that we're not necessarily catering, but also I would suggest to you that you haven't touched the hard part of your schedule yet. Just like defenses are figuring out what rookies are doing in the league, we've still got to play Clemson. We've still got to go to Miami. We still have to go to Notre Dame. We already have 3 losses. I mean, this is you really don't see a path to winning more than, say, 4 or 5 games.
Correct.
It's just brutal. That's the hard part. Did you know, since I'm mixing and matching and having fun, and we'll get to my mother's picks here in a second, I didn't realize this. The Broncos haven't had a winning season since they won the Super Bowl.
Really? Not 9-7 before they went to no.
So you know how it is. You win that Super Bowl. We've done this with the Bucs a couple times. And maybe you don't have, you're not great.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Tampa. I remember that.
Yeah. So maybe you're not great in the future seasons after your Super Bowl team and the salary cap hits and all
Charlie
that.
Garner and Tim Brown are here to save the day.
Yeah, maybe these things can happen. But that said, you go, I can live with it. And I always say there's a cutoff. There becomes a year where you go, okay, well, what's the year that we're done here? I'm about tired of this nonsense. The Super Bowl has been in the rear view for some time now. It's usually if it's your first ever Super Bowl win, if you've never won one, like we hadn't until we did in 2002, right? That might last you 10 years. You might be able to get a good 10-year glow off of it.
Yeah, it wasn't until Josh Freeman that I started to get antsy.
Yeah.
That's a little much at that point.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm getting into my 30s here. Are we gonna do something? Anything gonna happen with this squad? I'd like to go down and see a team win.
I have to imagine that Denver is more than there. Mr. Unlimited did nothing.
Ooh.
You bring him in to be your savior, and he did nothing.
No.
I think it has to be, they're champion right now.
Oh, buddy. And now I wonder how many of these guys that have rookie QBs are already panicked. Like when you see a guy averaging like 3.2 yards per pass, you're, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to say this out loud because you're going to accuse me of jumping off the ship 2 games into this kid's career. I'm just saying it's not ideal. I don't see like everybody starts looking at each other like, are you?
This is a look. Okay, so there's a lot of Knowles fans in the chat right now that have season tickets.
Yeah.
This is something that a season ticket holder understands better than anybody.
Yes.
In any sport.
Because they've seen it all.
But you've been around the same 3 or 4 families and a collection of
and you
60
can all look
people.
at each other.
Right. You
Yeah.
trade the look where you're watching the play and then you go, and the other guy goes,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like that
I
can
don't
never
know.
happen. Like a well-coached team doesn't let that happen.
That's the same look Wiley had in 89, 97, and 04.
I remember.
don't like it, and he's usually right.
That's back when Jack Thompson was here, the throwing Samoan. He knew.
Yep. You see that look on Wiley? Yeah, I did.
And I can't say I blamed him. I kind of thought he might turn around and look at me because I was thinking the same thing.
He's usually right.
Well, it's like, it's a new coach. It's in year 2 of a new coach's regime, Tom. And that coach has now watched his defense jump off sides on very critical 4th and 3s 4 times in 2 years. You're like, gonna jump off sides again, are we, on 4th and 3?
Yeah. It's
seems the details are eluding you.
My favorite co-Buccaneer season ticket holder that I didn't have season tickets myself for is Proximo. My man, Proximo.
Yeah.
He would switch to the gin when he knew. He would
He's
switch.
going from beer to, all right,
man.
that's it. We got to
So,
start drinking the gin, boys. It's not going to get it done.
We were like fake competing for a playoff spot. There are teams like that every year in the NFL. And Tony Romo and the Cowboys come to town. I think it's a Saturday night game in December. It's one of the final weeks of the season. And my man Proximo had hopes, but before the game started, he thought, probably not going to go well, but you never know. NFL teams lose games all the time. The teams lose games all the time. We just need Dallas to lose the game. By the second half, I'm walking up to go pee. He's coming down the stairs, double fisting, and he's already blotted.
You're like, no, he's called it a day.
You good? He's like, bleh, and he just keeps walking.
I've done the, hey, Colby, this is all on the table now, buddy. This is what Libations Friday for. We're just having a relaxed conversation. We're just a bunch of guys at a bar right now talking about some things that we don't like, things we're concerned about, and what the future possibly holds. I'll tell you, there's a contingent of this fan base that, and a sizable one at that has begun to look at others' coaching staffs and said, what do you think? A, could we get him? Would he leave? Team wherever, right?
You've already called for Dan Lanning this week.
No. I was asked a question and I answered it. You didn't like the speed with which I answered it.
No.
You're like, man.
Since you asked, I have a fully formed opinion of what I would do in case of emergency.
You said, this reminds you of the Kings Are Killed, Mr. Garrison conversation.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a little, even for me, I could see most.
So you and I, this was very much metaphorical. We were in a bar and I was smoking a cigar. You asked a question, didn't expect to get an immediate response. Not only did you get one, it was detailed and buttoned up, and you went, well, you thought about this.
He's already on step 4 here. I thought maybe it was a little early to be in the hypothetical. We're like, oh, no, it's not. In fact, here's what you do.
Here's what you would do.
Let me count the ways.
I've thought about it at many a red light.
Yeah.
On my way to Doak Campbell the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I told you what it was. It was last week a couple times. I even sent you the GIF. It's De Niro. It's,
Oh yeah, I know. I know. You're
and I
there.
knew you would laugh.
Yeah,
I knew you would laugh. I just sent that. That's the only one I sent him. You should pull that up for the.
No, I got.
Come on, you laughed.
I did laugh, but I'm like, man, I got to do a post game. I don't need you calling for people's heads right now.
I was just like, we're done here. I gave you the.
See, you're letting it slip. You're done. You're off the train.
I'm not. I'm done with.
You're no longer rowing the boat with Mike.
I am done with this staff. I've come to the conclusion that things are going to have to change.
Yeah. You're the guy at the bar after the game's over watching the primetime window. Who do you think Georgia's linebackers coach is? He's probably in line for a promotion.
He seems to be doing a very good job.
Yeah,
I mean, they are buttoned up every week.
You think he want a promotion?
Yeah. Well, you got to start digging in. You start looking around, man. Lee Sterling, we already did. My mom is up 4. This cannot stand, man. He will join us in mere minutes, and we will get to the wagers of the week. It's a good week in the NFL. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at BaranoAC.com. Florida license number CAC 1860186.
Howdy, folks. Jeff Cameron here to tell you about my friends at DexaFit Tallahassee. What is DexaFit, you might ask? Well, it's where you want to go if you're looking to elevate your health and fitness journey. DexaFit's exclusive services include AI-enhanced body scans, VO2 max fit testing, and RMR metabolism analysis to provide detailed insights into your body composition, cardiovascular fitness, and metabolic well-being. Sounds like a lot of science, but that's because it is. The most advanced science available. In fact, that's a good thing, right? DexaFit gives you immediate detailed insights about your body composition, provides a customized plan to improve on troubled areas delivered in an easy-to-navigate mobile app so you can share the information with your trainer or even your doctor to find the most direct path to your peak health. Check out DexaFit Tallahassee, the most accurate and most state-of-the-art body composition scanning and fitness planning available. Located on Capitol Circle Northeast, directly next to Bumpus. Check them out online at DexaFit.com and tell them Jeff Cameron sent you. DexaFit Tallahassee. Know your body and transform your life.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hey there, fellow RV enthusiasts. Is your AC blowing nothing but hot air? Well, down here in the Sunshine State, it's hotter than a jalapeno in August with a ghost pepper sitting on its base. But don't worry, because Florida Georgia Mobile RV Repair is here. We bring the cool to you. Whether you're parked at the beach, camped out in the woods, or just in your driveway, our expert techs will roll up and have you chilling faster than an ice cold sweet tea. So beat the heat and call 850-210-4244 or visit FloridaGeorgiaMobileRV.com and let us come to you. That's FloridaGeorgiaMobileRV.com.
Chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick. Take it away, Jeffrey.
And away we go. We welcome back in. As you can see by the name there, the defending champion is on the horn. Actually, you can see her there waving, smiling. Computer looks better, Mom. I don't know. Did you clean the screen? What'd you do?
Yeah, and I adjusted the light. That was a big help.
Well, you've done well. There's still a reflection of your glasses. At some point, you'll have to wear your contacts.
I know. Sorry about that. Well, I can take them off, except that if I have to look at my sheet, I can't see it without my glasses.
Well, that is correct. And remember not to pound the desk that the sheet is on.
That's right. I'm sorry. This was the first time I'd done this.
You won last week in the only game we had different. Good for you.
I know. I told you at Minnesota. I'm riding that Minnesota train till they derail me.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that's interesting about Minnesota, Mom, and that is that I'm not sure that everybody realizes, because I certainly didn't until I started doing research this morning. Minnesota leads the NFL. It's early in the season, but they lead the NFL in sacks.
Oh my! I would have thought Detroit maybe.
No, although Detroit almost set the record in one game against the Bucs because Aiden Hutchinson had 5.
Unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Didn't I talk about him last week? I think I did. I was worried about him.
Well, because our backup tackle was the starter is the problem.
Oh my God, I know that. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they do a close-up of his face when he's on the field, he looks like a possessed individual. It's unbelievable.
You're saying you wouldn't want to have to block him?
No. Oh, no. I would not. He scares me more than that JT Watt.
TJ Watt, Mom. TJ Watt.
Okay, JJ. Why did they do that with all those initials? Very confusing.
Well, the Watts are annoying people, but they're also very good at football, by the way. So
yeah, very good at football.
Very good at they can play a little football in the Watt family.
They can.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. We both had. We obviously both had the Jets last night.
We did.
But just like you, we were talking off the air. I thought it'd be a much better game. It wasn't.
Yeah, I really did. When I picked the Jets, I thought, well, I think they'll win, but I did. I thought New England would make a game out of it.
Not close. Giants at Cleveland.
Yes, I picked Cleveland.
Me too. Green Bay, this is a lackluster matchup. Green Bay at Tennessee.
It is. I picked Green Bay. I'm not sure why, because I know they still have that guy that you said was terrible, but
he was terrible last week.
They did win last week, and Tennessee's terrible. So I'm picking Green Bay.
Neither team is any good right now with this situation. Will Levis is not very good at quarterback for Tennessee. Malik Willis is again playing quarterback at Green Bay. This may very well be a very, very low-scoring game. I'm wrestling back and forth with it, but I think I'm going to take Tennessee in this game.
Okay, so, I got to write that down so I know who we have different.
These two games back-to-back are candidates, I said this earlier in the show, are candidates for the quickest games of the year because both teams will play defense and both teams want to run the ball and both teams can't play quarterback. So they're going to limit the number of pass attempts that either one of them takes. Chicago at Indianapolis is very much like Green Bay at Tennessee. Just two defenses trying to stop the run. Who do you got?
I took Chicago.
I'm struggling with this.
I did. Yeah, I took Chicago. Well, Indy has surprised me. I thought that they would be better with, Richardson, but they haven't been at all. So I think Chicago. I pick Chicago.
I think it's a coin flip, but I took Chicago as well because DeForest Buckner is out for Indianapolis. That's more important than how bad these two quarterbacks are right now. That I think in a game where you're trying to stop the run, you can't afford to lose your best defensive player, and they just did.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's important. All right, Houston, speaking of a good game, Houston at Minnesota.
I'm taking Minnesota until they do me wrong. I said that before. I got to take them.
Another coin flip game, but I'm going to take Houston. I'm going to take Houston here. So we've got a second one different. Here we go. Very intrigued to see what you do with this one. Philadelphia at New Orleans.
I'm taking New Orleans.
I am too.
I don't like either team at all, but I'm taking New Orleans. They're scoring a lot of points.
They've looked good. They've looked really good.
They've looked really good. So I'm taking New Orleans.
We go from a team that looks really good to two teams that the Steelers have not scored a touchdown, and they're 2-0. Chargers at the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. I know that Pittsburgh's got a really good defense, but I don't know. I thought the Chargers looked pretty good last week, and I just think they'll score more points, hopefully.
I find this to be another coin flip game because there are talks that Justin Herbert may not play, Mom. And if he doesn't play,
that's a problem.
Yeah. And so, this is the problem with us having to bet on a Friday when the game is played on a Sunday. Because I really, in truth, will not really want to pick this game until an hour before the game starts because I got to know if he's playing. If Herbert's playing, I'm picking the Chargers. If he's not playing, I'm picking the Steelers.
Well, that's kind of the way I feel. Maybe we can agree on that, and then we'll know.
All right, so that's the agreement. It will both say that if Herbert plays, we're taking the Chargers. If he doesn't, we're switching our pick to the Steelers, and there it is. All right.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that'll be – I'm going to put a little asterisk by that. So I can remember what we did.
We're both taking the Bucks over the sorry-ass Broncos is what we're doing.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you what, you probably heard me all the way to Tallahassee last week. I tell you what, and you know me, how I pace. I get so nervous. In that last minute or two of that game, I thought, now they're going to let them come down the field and score, and I'm going to be hysterical. And so I was running through the kitchen and back to the living room, and my fingers were crossed. I was like, oh, dear Lord, let this game be over.
Bucks were hitting in that game on Sunday. They were hitting.
I was so proud of them. And they were missing half their team.
I know.
It made me it was incredible.
So for people that are kind of new to the show, my mom's favorite player in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history is Derek Brooks. And why wouldn't he be? He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Of course, we all know that. And I got her a Derek Brooks helmet signed by Derek Brooks. And it's the old school helmet from the Bucks and all that when he first came into the league and some other items here and there. But I'm beginning to wonder if somehow the Bucks were to win the division yet again and maybe go to the Super Bowl, which I'm not predicting that they're going to do. But if that happened, would you want me to get you a Baker Mayfield jersey? Because you're starting to love Baker.
I do love Baker. And I even liked him before.
Because he was at Oklahoma.
Yes, that's right. That Oklahoma connection. I think, and you know what? When he ran those 2 times in a row and he juked that guy, I was like, look at that. I was jumping around. Yes. Well, I don't know if he'd overtake Derek or not.
No, he wouldn't overtake him. I'm just saying you would add to your collection.
Definitely yes, I would love it.
Okay. Carolina at Las Vegas.
I'm taking Las Vegas.
The Dolphins at Seattle.
Yeah. I'm taking Seattle.
Me too. The Ravens at the Cowboys.
I know now. You know what? But how about, as they say, how about them Cowboys? You know what? That just cracks me up. I said this. They gave Dak Prescott all this money.
Well, it wasn't Dak's fault last week.
I know that, but he still hasn't done a darn thing. And they can't win. these games, I took who did I take? I took Baltimore because I think Baltimore is much better than they have played. I don't know what's happening to them, but anyway, I think Dallas is. I don't know what's wrong with Dallas, but anyway, I took the Ravens.
I took the Ravens too, but it's a game of two teams that desperately need to win. Now the Cowboys are 1-1, of course, and looked great in Week 1 against sorry-ass Cleveland. Then looked terrible last week at home, where their defense got run roughshod over. It was crazy to watch how porous they were across the board defensively. I don't know what to make of Dallas right now. I do know the Ravens are 0-2, and teams that went 0-3 last year, Mom, none of the teams that started the year 0-3 last season even finished with a 500 record. Everybody had a losing record who started 0-3. So you're going to have a desperate Ravens team and a pretty desperate Cowboys team. This is a game to watch. It'll be a fun game to watch.
Absolutely. Well, I picked the Ravens, so we'll see. And you're picking them too?
I am.
Okay.
San Francisco at the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take San Francisco.
Detroit at Arizona is a great game.
That is a great game. I'm taking Detroit because I think that they're going to give Kyler quite a lot of trouble. And if he doesn't have time to throw the ball, then I think Detroit will win. So
they have to contain him because he runs around a lot. They have got to contain him. But yeah,
well, I'm gonna tell you, if he gets hit by Aiden a couple of times, he's gonna think about running. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll take Detroit as well, Mom. Kansas City at Atlanta, good game.
Kansas City.
Jacksonville at Buffalo.
Jacksonville at Buffalo. I'm gonna take Buffalo.
Of course. Washington at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're 0-2. They're part of that group that can't afford to go 0-3.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what's happening with them either.
Well, they almost beat they should have beat Kansas City last week. They lost 26-25.
I know, and that was aggravating because even though I picked Kansas City, I'm aggravated. I'm tired of Kansas City. I want them to.
You and the rest of the world not named Kansas City. Yes.
I feel about them like I did about New England.
Yeah.
When they were always winning, I was like, God, they need to lose.
Well, this is what happens. Yeah, you win too much, people are done with you. But, no, they're really good. Okay, so there it is. We only have a couple different this week.
Yeah, we got Tennessee and Houston. Though you picked Tennessee and Houston over with the Green Bay and the Minnesota. Because I picked Minnesota. I'm hanging in there with Sam until
you are. And their defense is playing well, too. Those are good games. All right, so you're up 4. I got to get a couple here soon.
I know it. You got to get with it. I tell you, I'm excited. Now, FSU plays Cal,
yeah,
at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been listening to you off and on during the week, but anyway, you don't feel too good about this game.
I don't feel good about FSU playing air. So no, I don't feel good about this game.
Nobody knows why. You think they're going to start the other quarterback, whoever that is?
No, I think they're going to start DJ, which is ridiculous.
Okay.
Tough times,
Mom. We'll be watching.
All right, Mom. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
I love you too. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There's Mama and I's picks. Just like that. It's over. She's got 2. She's up 4. We got 2 different. I got to start winning some of these games. We'll see. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant.
Your local news now.
At a press conference Wednesday afternoon, city and state leaders gathered at Tallahassee International Airport to announce the installation on new electric chargers for airplanes. Beta Technologies, the company heading the installation, said there are already 2 electric prototype aircraft flying from Beta in the United States. The prototypes can take off vertically and were described as flying cars to decrease noise pollution and increase sustainability. They can carry up to 5 people plus a pilot. And a trip from Tallahassee to Gainesville is about 120 nautical miles and would take about an hour and cost around $15. The electric planes are still under review by regulators. Officials think they'll see this aircraft here in Tallahassee sometime in 2025 or 2026. The chargers are getting used right now as airport staff can charge their EVs using the same equipment. Officials say an electric plane can charge from 0 to 100% in just under an hour. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update.
Daytime highs approaching 89 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 70 tonight. Clear skies. High temperatures reach up to 89 tomorrow. Bright sunshine. Sunny skies and dry Sunday and Monday with highs in the upper 80s. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 89 degrees.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude,
No.
I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean, you know.
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by Shannon Young with Fairway Mortgage Corporation. He's so good, he's even got Jimbo's Christmas tree pre-approved for a new home. Visit loansforknowles.com. Hey, by the way, speaking of Shannon Young, really good at what he does. The new conventional loan limits have just been released, and they have increased the new limit for a conventional mortgage. It's $802,000. What this means is that you can now purchase a home up to $825,000 with as little as 3 to 5% down. Make sure you talk to my friend Shannon. He's really good at what he does. Interest rates are down by more than 1% from this past summer. So if you have any debt and you want to consolidate, want to lower your interest rate on your current mortgage, you could potentially save hundreds of dollars per month as well. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea. There he is. Loansforknowles.com. Loansforknowles.com. Hello, Kelly. Good to have you on board. Adam, Jeff, I'm going to take the over 3.5 coaches gone at the end of the season. Atkins, Shannon, Dugans, and Odell's going to retire. I wouldn't be surprised if Odell retired. As far as Atkins, Shannon, and
Dugans.
Dugans?
Not Duggins.
I said Dugans.
No, you did.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a pet peeve. You know, I feel like when people aren't mad at coaches, they spell their name right, but when they are mad at coaches,
Oh,
they
but I
spell
don't
their name
know
wrong.
that I don't know that Adam was trying to take a shot there.
Just a pet peeve.
Well, Randy's got to be gone. The linebackers this has been a problem area for some time.
What more evidence would you need?
I'm going to tell you though, man, I do think that when, we document and we talk and lend context and do all these things on a regular, daily basis, I do think, listen, you have 9 games to play. Some guys are fighting for their jobs. You ought to see some desperation here. You ought to see some intensity here. I can't continue to believe that they're going to look listless. I mean, I would think that there is a lot that has to get done for this group, for all these guys that are probably desperate. Yeah, Adam Fuller's job should be on the line. Randy's job should be on the line. That's a given. I said last season while we were struggling to run block, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Alex. You guys know how I feel about Randy. I mean, there's so many. That's 3, maybe 4. I don't know if Mike has, the way it's worded, the stomach to fire 4 or 5 people, but I don't know that you have a choice. If you're having this kind of a disastrous season, I don't know that you get to I don't think you have the luxury to say, well, I'll go another year. I mean, once assistants are in line to be fired because there are failures on the field, some of which are not their fault, some of which are, but this is what happens in this business. Coaches fire members of their staff when the production is below standard, when the wins aren't where they need to be. Coaches then, because they're not going to fire themselves, make changes on their staff. But that is the final step before all the knives come for you. So if they go 3-9 or 4-8, that is such a calamity of errors, such a disastrous result fresh off a 13-0 campaign. The most denial-ridden, there would be no way. How could you look yourself in the mirror and in good conscience say, let's run it back? You couldn't do it.
Let's see what the lineup is this weekend, and maybe that gives you an indication as to how much you will stay the course.
It's a lot easier to ignore the weaknesses and the flaws in the process of how you're doing business when, in fact, you're going undefeated. But when the losses mount, there is no getting out from under that. That you have to confront that, and you'll be forced to. And it's in some cases you've got to you'll take the blame yourself. Others fall on the nail or on the sword for you, and then you go from there. That's the way it has to be. Final hour fourth coming on Libations Friday. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
Searching for the best place to spend time outdoors this spring and summer? The Golf Club at Summerbrook has all the amenities you and your family need. Purchase a family pool membership this season and enjoy the most luxurious and relaxing resort-style pool in the entire city. With a 6,000 square foot deck, covered pavilion, and poolside drink and food service, you'll feel like you're on vacation. Reserve your pool membership today. Visit the Golf Club at Summerbrook.com or call 850-894-GOLF. That's 894-GOLF.
Pinch A Penny Pools has the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the city. You might even call it Tallahassee's Hot Tub Hub. 12,000 square feet of hot tubs, with over 50 of them on site. Over 20,000 gallons of tub capacity to choose from. That's 4,620,000 cubic inches of hot tubs. But I digress. So why should you own a hot tub from Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. Number one, health benefits, of course. The healing powers of soaking in a hot bubbling pool of water go back centuries. Google it. Number two, Pinch A Penny has hot tubs with technology called Freshwater IQ. It gives you real-time chemical readings and tells you exactly what to add to keep the water at peak perfection, with automated analysis to help you control the chlorine and pH. It's hot tubs for dummies. Sign me up. Number three, they have the best prices, of course. Plus, you get a free accessory and no interest financing. Easy peasy. But if you don't want to take my word for it, check them out yourself. Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. Locally owned, locally operated, and the easiest way to find relaxation at home.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Investors, are you looking for a creative way to purchase your next rental property? Are you looking to get into the Airbnb space? If so, you need to know about DSCR loans. It stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. These are loans that do not require traditional income verification. As long as the proposed rent covers the mortgage payment on the subject property, that's the only income you need. If you're looking at investing and don't know if you can qualify, let's set up a plan to get your next income producing property and start putting you on a path to passive income. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. And don't forget, every fellow Knoll that we close a loan for, I will personally make a donation of $250 to the Battle's End. It's Shannon Young at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing limit. NMLS number 373030.
What will the Noles do to follow up and unconquer 2023? Warchant.com, the market leader in FSU football and sports coverage, is the place to find out. Join the largest FSU fan community and talk Seminoles sports in Warchant's Travel Council and Premium Recruiting Message Board Forum. Enjoy cutting-edge team coverage led by managing editor Ira Schofel and lead writer Corey Clark, and inside scoops on the transfer portal and recruiting classes with Michael Langston and Matt Lassere. Backed by the best national recruiting network in On3, there's no debate. Warchant.com's your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Present Tallahassee.
Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas. Brought to you by Palmar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with two great locations in Tallahassee.
Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football as 5-point underdogs, a total 45.5. Lawrence's over-under passing prop bet, 226.5 yards, 1.5 touchdowns shaded to the under minus 180. Florida Gators tomorrow at Mississippi State. Gators are the 6-point road favorite, total 58. Bulldogs coming off a 41-17 loss at the hands of the Toledo Rockets, who were 10.5-point road underdogs. Florida State hosting Cal in the Bears ACC debut. The Seminoles looking for their first win of the season, laying 2.5 against Cal, the total 43. Florida A&M on the road at Troy as a 23-point dog. Bundle and save with Progressive. Progressive.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
This fall, Macy's is here to help you shift seasons in style. Get an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals like dresses $150 and under, shoes she'll love 20% off, and the perfect dining and entertaining finds 30 to 40% off. Plus, Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Going on now at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips. Now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks, we fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
CCC 1331204.
Football. Well, it may not be living up to our expectations yet, so I'm going to try to give you something to look forward to. Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. This month, we asked Nissan for a lift on 2 of our best vehicles, and as usual, they answered, so listen to this. 2024 Titan trucks have 0% financing for 60 months, plus each and every Titan on our lot is now marked down $5,000. Plus, Titan has America's best warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Or if you're interested in an SUV with $2,000 bonus cash and $1,500 loyalty cash on the Nissan Armada, you can save up to $5,000 on each and every Armada on our lot and get 3.9% financing for 60 months. Or just like last month, we can put you into a brand new Nissan Sentra starting at $420 a month, no money down. Some of the best deals of the year on some of Tallahassee's favorite vehicles. Come see us today at Kraft Nissan. Remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers look to stay undefeated when they square off with the Denver Broncos at Ray J.
Robbie Baker throws a sideline route. It is top ball. Mike Evans with a guy draped all over it. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons. Get him going.
Pre-game at noon. Kickoff at 1.
What a remarkable catch by Evans with a defender all over it.
Right here on the Buccaneers Radio Network.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
making their way up to Tallahassee to see an 0-3 team take on an undefeated Cal team. Well, bravo. You have the faith. I don't know that you will be rewarded for said faith. I don't know that it's going to change Florida State's fortunes, but that's right. In good times and in bad, you're a Nole and you're on your way up. And for that reason, I tell you, let's share a cold one. I'll be at Hotel Indigo tomorrow with Tom from 4 to 6. And we have a studio show we're doing early, but then we have the rest of the day to ourselves. So that studio show's at 9. I'll probably hang out, make a nice lunch, watch some of those terrible noon games, watch a little college football, wager on a little college football, have a good time just like everybody else. Then I'll meander on over to the Hotel Indigo, which is always fun. Cat 5, Stevie, for an 0-3 team doesn't exist, but I see you working in reverse. Do you think Mike will be bald by the end of the year? Sometimes I think Mike's going bald. Other times I think, oh, he's got a ton of hair. He's just gray. I just can't tell sometimes. It's a weird way that it sits on his head. But if you were going to lose hair and it was going to be stress-induced and not genetically induced, it would be going 0-3 after somehow turning this whole thing around through years of hard work and going 13-0, only to watch you and your staff piss it away in grand fashion. That would cause you to lose sleep.
There have been issues.
A few, as in too many to count. Man, oh man, oh man. I do think I get these questions, a lot of similar sounding questions. Is Mike in shock? Like the rest of us? Easy Living wrote, Jeff and Tom, do you think Mike and this coaching staff are shell-shocked? In fact, they whiffed in the portal. Not enough elite recruits. 0-3. Are they at a loss? How could you not be, guys? Easy Living? How could you not be? I keep bringing this point up. I keep bringing up the fact that I started the week by saying that it felt like, or it seems like it would be to me, that you would be going through an existential crisis. Because you got to where you are by really, really working extremely hard, trusting your judgment. Your organizational skills have always been excellent. Your work ethic has been something that has shined since you arrived here, and certainly when you talk to people at Memphis. So you're hardworking. In your career, you've been smart, which is why you were tabbed early on as an up-and-comer in this profession. You got opportunities at ages that others don't get. That doesn't happen without impressing somebody early in your career. So when you're that guy, Mike Norvell is that guy in a business setting, right? He's in an office, whatever that line of work may be. And he started out as an intern. He was finishing up college, and he interned one summer. And maybe not the boss of bosses noticed, but a couple of managers did. Like, that kid's good. He's got a little something to him. What's he doing when he finishes up school? The question gets asked one day at a meeting. Hey, what's Mike doing when he finishes up school? I thought he did a good job this summer. You know what? I noticed that too. I thought he did too. He asked the right kind of questions, right? He did. He seemed to have it. He had the flick. Something was there. I could see it. Me too. All right. Well, let's ask him. What's he want to do? I mean, I think he's got some offers, guys, but I don't think he would do another year's intern, but I think if we paid him something, I think he likes it here. All right. Let's bring him in and talk to him. Which is followed up by a job offer, which is followed up by, okay, got your first job. Here we go. And within 6 months, there's a buzz. There's okay, this was a good hire. We're going to have to do something to keep him around. We give him more responsibility. He's handled this very easily. This guy here is a rock star. He's up and coming. Give him more responsibility. And one day the right guy notices him and he gets a big responsibility. He's very early in his career. He's in year 2, year 3, something like that. He's paying his dues, but he gets a chance. And he kicks that chance's ass. And he gets job offer for twice what he's making, 3 times what he's making, and the next thing you know, he's in a position. This has been Mike, right? So what does that do? Well, it tells you, it certainly, I think, infuses a lot of confidence in any individual who's ever been through that. You know in that moment that your instincts, I'm trusting my instincts, my intellect, my work ethic, it's all paying off. They're seeing it. I'm asking for more responsibility. I'm getting more responsibility. I'm succeeding with that responsibility. All signs are pointing due north. We're in good shape. We're moving on up. And one day you get the call and you get to be the man. And you're now becoming the man at a very young age within the profession. And I'm sure it hits everybody differently, but all of these guys are very, very confident, almost to the point of arrogant. And there's nothing wrong with that. Your high achievers often have a level of arrogance, or at least supreme confidence that borders on arrogance to them. They're also usually pretty grounded and thankful. They're also guys that are pretty good at self-scouting and figuring out the areas in which they're weak and areas where they can improve, right? They're always striving, especially when you're young and hungry. Mike did those things, as any young and successful businessman would. Did all those things. So now, fast forward to this situation. It's got to feel like you're absolutely waylaid. The first time that any of these confident characters who've succeeded and flew up the ladder of success had to face real adversity through decisions you made, things you may have overlooked, areas where you slacked off, whatever it might be, come back to haunt you in a way that you could not have pictured. How are you not shaken to your core? And what I always wonder about when situations happen like this, and this is a very unique one, what kinds of questions are you asking yourself when something like this happens? You know, there's the initial beat yourself up sort of thing that happens. This, how could I have been so stupid? Why did you do that? Why did you, whatever it might have been, right? Where you identify something that you let slide, or you let somehow slip through the cracks. You forget about things that maybe kind of were the stepping stones to get you to where you were. And when you go back and analyze it, you go, oh man, that was a poor decision. I should have kept doing this, and I shouldn't have gone into here, and I got lazy about this because I trusted this other person, and maybe I shouldn't have, and all of this, right? And now you start thinking about, well, I got to micromanage. Now I've got to get into all of the things that I thought I had moved on from and passed off to others for their responsibility. But that job's not getting done now, so I'm going to have to do it, because ultimately this falls on me. But you also, not only in identifying that in your organization, you also have to look at yourself. Like, what is it you're not seeing? Because he missed the evals. And that's where I call it an existential crisis. Like, do I not know what I'm looking at as the head coach of Florida State? Why did I tell people, why did I think this was the biggest, best, deepest offensive line that I've ever had? And they can't block anybody. They can't block Georgia Tech. They can't block BC, and they couldn't block Memphis. Why did I think that not only could they do those things for sure, I thought they were going to be the reason we won, to the point that I brought in an immobile quarterback who's never been great, but could be good enough, and somebody I thought I'd get a little bit more juice out of than what I've seen previous because of said offensive line. And that hasn't happened either. He's been a disaster. He's not seeing it. He's not processing it. We can't protect him. So this is now one domino after the next falling. It's an unmitigated disaster, and you've got to ask yourself, what do I do? They just gave me a huge raise. They're very aware of that look, what that feels like, what that looks like. I think we've all failed at something. We've all made mistakes. Certainly, we've all somehow dropped the ball. There's nothing worse than when you do that and it involves somebody you love, something you love, something that you love to do, that shakes you. Man, I really disappointed my dad. I really disappointed a boss who had faith in me. I really disappointed the people who trusted me to do right by them because they were riding this wave of my success as well, whatever it might be. But it's tough. It's really hard. And then you have to ask all these really difficult questions. It starts with you, and then it goes to your staff, and it goes to all of the people whose lives are now going to be greatly affected in a negative way. You see how big this is. You see how overwhelming it could be. And I'm here for the observation. I'm here for the male soap opera, as I like to call it, because this is a different plot twist than any I've seen in the past. I've watched, as we talked about this week, Tom, and you have too. We all have. I've watched guys reach a certain level of success, achieve, work hard, trust what they're seeing, trust their ability to bring out the best in others, trust the game plan, trust the mode of operation, right? Only to kind of let some things slide once they had achieved greatness, once they had achieved a status that allowed them to be more comfortable. We've watched that, and we've seen that kind of collide and coincide with things off the field, right? Where, unfortunately, no matter how we think about the way things ended for Jimbo, some of which he brought on himself without question, there were aspects of what happened in his life that I think directly affected his job that did not involve him slipping, that were things that just were unfortunate, that happened in people's lives. And I think it directly led to sort of a combination of failures that caused him to lose the locker room and trust. And then, I don't know how emotionally centered he was because he didn't handle those moments of truth when those things were pointed out to him. He didn't handle those things measured. He didn't handle those things. Usually the response was F you. And he pushed it away and pushed it away and pushed it away to a point that we ended up with a Christmas tree on the corner. And he was running to Texas A&M to watch that lunatic cult kick at pep rallies before he lost that job too. And, I'm sure there's been plenty of time on one of the many ranches that he has to reflect on all of that. You just don't want Mike to get to a point where he's on his ranch reflecting on how it is he lost this job, how it is he let this all unravel. It can be saved. I had somebody who I trust kind of push back on my idea. They could hear the inferences I was making this week while talking with you, Tom, and saying
about Dan Lanning.
They could hear the sense that I had that perhaps less faith than others that this is going to get turned around.
Tom, Nike's earnings are down through 3 quarters this year. I'm just saying, it's a tough revenue year. Maybe Phil has to put the squeeze on a little bit.
But the pushback I got from him was, well, it's a different era of college football. Things can change very, very quickly and can be fixed very, very quickly in ways that they couldn't in the past. If you lost momentum in recruiting in the past, you were a dead man walking. It was over, and we all knew it. That's not the case anymore.
Well, if you're unsure of your evaluations, you just break the bank, not for a coordinator, but a player personnel evaluator. Like, if you believe that was the reason. Like, that's the thing, is like, what am I missing here? The problem is, for Mike, there is no good answer. And I don't mean that the way that society means that, Jimbo, society, which usually when somebody says there's no good answer, it means that there is no answer. No, I'm saying that whatever the answer is not good. By definition, it's bad.
Yeah.
And maybe it's multiple things are true, but whatever the reason is you got from there to here, whatever the reasons are, by definition, they are colossal mistakes to different degrees that add up to this. And it could be about not micromanaging certain facets of the program. It could be about not making sure the team is bonding together and playing for one another. It could be about any number of things.
Not recruiting well in the high school ranks.
Well, that's
could be about misreading the value of your staff. Could be,
but whatever those answers are, they're not good. And that's something that has to be addressed. And if you believe that it's a couple of personnel changes, then you go full steam at that with all of your vigor that he has for everything that he does. And you hope that it's enough. But the issue is that is the big picture conversation, and we're not even into October. We're in September, and so you feel like this is a Titanic, and you're on the course you're on. I can't turn it around. We're going to hit that iceberg. And a win would help everybody calm the hell down. Unfortunately, a win wouldn't fix everything. Like a win over Boston College, and I think everybody would have chilled for at least a week. For the bye week, everybody said, okay, sorry about Dublin. Mike, I know that you're apologizing for it, and we've steadied things. But when you're at 0-3, like a win over Cal isn't enough to completely quiet people down. But it's better than the alternative because baby steps. You got to get those kids in a place where their mindset is healthier. And I think that's why, if you're wondering, why is he making the personnel decisions that he's making? It's like, I got to get these kids to believe, and I need a result for them to believe. And I think the best way to get the result is to run out this player, that player, and the other player. We could all be talking about next year, but he's saying, I've got a locker room right now that I need to work for me in the next 9 games. I think this is the best path forward to get that locker room to believe again, because many of those players in that room are going to help me get to 2025. And I don't want to break them between now and then. And he's going about it the way he's going about it. We'll see what the lineups are like tomorrow, but my guess is that's his philosophy is, I got to help the kids I have right now because this isn't Thanksgiving and the season's over. I've got months to go.
Yeah, it's not one or the other, though. You got to do both. You got to find a way to do both. You're going to be burning the candle at both ends, buddy, because you screwed it up. Yeah, during the week at practice, Tom, when you have time to instruct and teach and uplift, you got to do that. You got to be there for those guys. You got to get them to understand what you're trying to get them to do and make personnel changes and all this other stuff. If they're not learning what to do and, all that, that's true. And then at night, when you're exhausted after you've worked 16 hours doing all that, get to work, because you need to seriously think about where you're going for some of these staff changes. You need to think about the changes to your operation, big picture changes. Am I changing who it is that's evaluating players? What analysts do I need to take a look at here, or do I need to add more? Is it something that I've got to change in my approach to recruiting? He's got right. This isn't going to end.
Is there an assistant? And this is what's so hard about the early signing period too, is a lot of the assistants that you would want to bring in are going to be coaching well into January. Used to be a couple of them were in games that meant something. And so if they were going to a New Year's 6 non-playoff bowl or more exhibition-like than that, you could poach them at the end of November. They're in your camp. Some coaches now, like a linebackers coach for Oregon, for Georgia, for Texas, if you really wanted that guy,
you could get him, yeah.
Well, but those guys are going to have to start making decisions sooner and leaving their own operation before they go into the playoff. Like, this is the new churning of until the signing period moves past the playoff, which I don't think they're going to do anytime soon. Like, this is the conundrum that you're in. You don't want to let this signing period pass and do nothing with it, but you also have to have a staff there to finish the job and close on what recruits you do have, even if you want to make a change. So you got to looky-loo the kids. They come in and then you switch their position coach right after they commit and sign with you.
The tough part too here is in R. Wilmer, I know you're noting that this is difficult and, in some cases it will feel impossible, but that's the job. Other people are doing the job. They're finding ways to do that very thing. Motivate those that are handsomely paid. In many cases, entitled kids. They find ways. They have to. That's what the money's for. Yeah, you have to find the way to do it. It's your job.
And the part of that whole equation now is that you're 0-3. So if what did you get me? I pay you no matter what. This is more like baseball than it is the NFL. In that when you sign that deal, you're getting what's on that deal. Short of you not showing up to practice in games.
Or you don't do the thing. Yeah, right.
Right. But if you show up, you're going to get paid. That is a Major League Baseball contract. That is an NBA contract. The NFL, they can just cut your ass and pay you 40 cents on the dollar at any point, or 0 cents on the dollar. So at this point, if you're going to get the money anyway and you're giving me nothing, what do I have to lose? More games? I'm already doing that. You can sit.
Well, that
motivates you. You're not motivated.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, I do want to push back on a couple of things here. I do not believe they're 0-3 because kids are entitled and getting paid and don't want to play hard. All around the country, there are kids who got money a year ago for a very successful campaign who now entered into a new season and are working their ass off to get even better and winning games.
In this program, they did the same thing.
It's happening all over the place.
Jared Verse came back. You
Yeah.
didn't see him fall off.
No, there are plenty of kids who are getting paid and working very hard to earn that money and make more money and improve upon the season before it. And I don't believe we've lost these games because guys are like, I got $300,000, I got $400,000. I mean, Pat Payton's paid well, but he's not paid nothing compared to what he could get if he got a first-round grade in the NFL draft.
Okay, but this is where I'll be transparent here because you're saying pushing back against it. That's where I asked that question out loud. I'm like, is that enough? Was that your number? Like, everybody's got a number. Are you set? Because what the film is saying is that, man, compared to last year, in these same situations, you're not getting doubled all that often. If it doesn't come your way, you're not like, it's the little things. So what gives?
No, that's it. Okay, so there's a singular, example of a person that isn't playing as well as we think that they can. And I guess we're assigning blame in some way because they got paid.
Well, I'm asking a question. Like, why are you trying? Why does it appear on the film? Put it that way. I'll couch it the right way. Why does the film tell me that you're trying less than you did last year?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I don't. I know who ends up being responsible for some of that stuff, but.
And that's also one of those things. A lot of people say the film says, and they're watching the replay of the game on their DVR. Oh man, this is some of the stuff that we get to do at Warchant. Dominick's like, I would love it if he would be able to battle more in that situation.
Oh yeah, no, you can see the all 22 and look at the tight. Yes.
So it's from a legitimate basis point, not I've got it on my DVR and it looks like he doesn't give a damn.
But even then, Tom, it
still.
I was going to say it does show up even in the DVR copy. You can still see it there. I don't need the tight copy to watch Marvin Jones Jr. jog. I can see the actual replay from the TV copy of him jogging along while somebody's running. That's don't need the all 22 for that. There are a lot of things schematically that I do need the all 22 for to get a sense of, making sense of an assignment or responsibility with this certain look against a certain look. It's unbelievable. We do have to do red zone, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Blood red zone.
Adam still wants us to do it, and I want to do it, and it's always fun to do. Yeah, we will. We'll get fired up for some red zone in a moment. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Honey, I'm home.
We're in here, honey.
So why are all my friends here?
Have a seat, Dave. We need to talk about your problem.
Problem? I don't have a problem.
Dave, you do have a problem. A problem with your grill. Here's some pamphlets from Hearth and Patio. They are waiting for your call to help you upgrade your grill.
If you or someone you know needs a grilling intervention, call Hearth and Patio today at 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282 or hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Maddie, did you hear Grassroots Coffee is now the official coffee of FSU's NIL collective, The Battle's End?
Yes! I've heard tons of people talking about it and the new coffee, Battle's End Blend.
Yeah, every time you buy a bag of Battle's End Blend specialty coffee, you help support FSU athletes and help our Noles be more competitive.
Every time I buy a bag?
Anytime anyone buys a bag, retail or wholesale for business. Just imagine how much impact we can have if every time FSU alumni and fans take a sip of coffee, FSU athletes benefit.
Just go to grassrootscoffee.com, select Battles End Blend and the size and grind setting you want. And if you have a coffee shop, restaurant, or even a business that has coffee in the break room, you can buy it wholesale at Grassroots wholesale portal, grassrootscoffeeroasters.com.
Locally owned, locally roasted, locally loved, and committed to our Noles. Grassroots Coffee.
So good.
At Apps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality
quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old Funny Paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like ABC Flooring, Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme, or Keith Lawson Services, providing professional services and maintenance for your home's most critical systems for over 39 years. If you need air conditioning, heating, or plumbing repairs, you will receive an upfront written quote, and the job will be done on time by the area's most advanced, highly trained professionals. Keith Lawson Services, Florida license CMC 125456 and CFC 1429-197.
I juggle a lot. I'm managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by Shannon Young with Fairway Mortgage Corporation. He's so good, he's even got Jimbo's Christmas tree pre-approved for a new home. Visit loansforknowles.com.
Rolling on, Big River. Cue it up, Tom. Let's make it happen. It is time for the Red Zone in the Retirement Red Zone, thanks to our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game.
You have entered.
Someone burn down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North. South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
It's good to know. NoreTirement.com. NoreTirement.com. You'll join their email list, and if you do that, you can claim your free retirement readiness assessment. It's pretty easy. It's good. They do financial planning. They do estate and legacy planning, risk management, investment management, business succession, and exit strategy. A lot of things that interest all of us. Artisan Financial Strategies. Adam and his gang are really experienced, 30-plus years, all kinds of resources. Pros, and Knowles, I might add. So go to NoreRetirement.com and get that free retirement red zone assessment, right? Build a wealth game plan. That's what you want to do. All right, first down. What do we got?
All right, first down, over or under 39.5 regular season wins for Link Jarrett next year for Florida State baseball.
How many games do they play? I can't even remember in baseball anymore how many games they play. Is it still around 56, 60, somewhere in there?
56.
That's a good number, Tommy.
Yeah. A 40-win season. Remember, it used to just be the expectation.
Used to be the standard, yeah. I'll say over.
Over. Okay. All right.
First down.
Oh, second down. Over or under 15.5 regular season wins for Leonard Hamilton in the basketball program.
Over.
All right.
Over.
There'll be a football one soon, folks.
Not by much.
I can't come up with 4 football things. There'll be one on 4th down.
Over. Here we go.
3rd down. College Cup, a.k.a. Final Four for FSU soccer.
Yes.
Yay or nay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right.
Easy.
All right.
Breezy. It should be national championship victory or bust. That's what we do around these parts, buddy. That's what we do.
Remember when that was the standard for football?
It's the standard for football now.
All right. Before or after October 6th, this is football. Before or after October 6th, note that our Clemson game is on the 5th of October.
There are so many minutes.
Before or after October the 6th, that Brock Glenn starts a game for Florida State.
That starts a game?
Yep. So you've got tomorrow, technically.
Yeah.
You've got SMU and Clemson.
Well, if you're going to start them, I'd sure as hell do it before you play Clemson because you're not going to block Clemson.
Well, if you don't start him for SMU, then you wouldn't start him for Clemson.
I don't think you would. But how
Mike is trying to ride this thing so he can give DJ a contractually promised, I'm joking, Battle's End, I'm joking.
Oh, man.
Start against Clemson.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's doing him a solid. You can start until Clemson, DJ. And then I'm moving to Brock for Duke.
So, do you think they're going to beat Cal tomorrow?
Ooh, you're asking me? What down is it?
This is just I'm making an informed decision on 4th down, and I'm asking my assistant for some information.
Do I think?
Not can they? We already know that. Do you think they will beat Cal tomorrow?
I don't think they will. I hope they will.
Okay, well then I will say that it will be before October the 6th. If
Okay.
they lose tomorrow, he can't roll him out there again. He simply cannot.
Yeah.
So that will be that.
It is within their capability to beat Cal tomorrow.
Sure.
Just like it was within their capability
Sure.
to win every one of these games.
Yeah.
But, one team comes into tomorrow's action with game tape that says they are well coached and they stick to their plan. And another one doesn't.
Without question, buddy. Without question. And it's heartbreaking. But I already did. Did you do your pick?
For the report?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd pick Florida State.
I did not.
16-13.
You said you were going to do that. Yeah. I did not take us. I want to be wrong. And if I am, then I'll pick SMU next week and I'll pick everybody against us the rest of the way.
Look, man, I just want to have a good day, right? And I can have a good day if I want to. Isn't that how it goes?
I just want to have a good day. Guys, I just want to have a good day.
Have a great day if you want to.
I just want to have
I'm making the choice.
I just want one good day. That's all I want.
Okay, before another football question.
All right.
Really quickly, rapid fire freshmen or redshirt freshmen that play. Brock Glenn, does he play tomorrow? Do you think?
Yes.
Oh,
I think he gets in the game.
Okay. Why? Because we're getting torched?
I got to believe he's going to have a package or two for Brock Glenn. There's got to be something. Come on, Mike. I mean, at some point here, I actually just don't think we'll block it up, so I think he'll get in.
Okay. We all believe that Davis will be in there because Cam Davis got in before this thing was on fire.
Sure, yeah.
Does Mekhi Danzy get in tomorrow? They sure do love to talk about him during practice.
Sure.
Okay. Elijah Moore. Does he play tomorrow?
I don't think so. And, it's interesting. I can't hear a peep about Elijah Moore these days. I'm not at the practices right now in season. I don't hear that he's doing anything wrong. It's just that he's a freshman and he probably doesn't want to rush him out there. And
he got a little bit of praise on Tuesday, but yeah, it wasn't show stopping. Does Andre Otto make an appearance this weekend? Ooh. Oh, buddy.
I don't know. I mean, I thought you were going to say before Clemson or whatever.
No, tomorrow. Your little autopilot. These are reasons to tune in. I'm trying to give people reasons. The more you say yes to, the better the ratings.
I don't know how you don't start taking a look at your future. You have to take a look at the guys that are quality players that have a talent that translates, will be good for you at some point. I don't think it's too soon for Otto. I think that you ought to keep going on this list and say a lot of people that need to play. Now, there are some guys that just because they're talented does not necessarily mean I want to thrust them in there. It depends on the position you play, depends on the matchup. But yeah, man, sure, Otto. Yeah.
All right. last question. Will there be a well-executed block on a perimeter screen?
Yes, 100% yes. That one I'm the most sure of because it was emphasized this week more than once. That is something that I think if you don't do or give effort to try and do, you will get pulled from the game. You will not go back out there.
That's actually the source of the laugh clip. Is when he saw 2-on-2, 2 hats for 2 hats.
Yeah.
And Malik Benson about to catch the ball and then get a -1 on the play.
Yeah, there it is.
That's him laughing.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
Because when the ball's in the air, he's thinking, oh, buddy.
Touchdown, yeah.
Explosive.
There's no way.
2nd and 11. Suck it.
There's no way you get to go back out there after what he's talked about this week with perimeter blocking. He, I think he said it stinks or it sucked or whatever. He said something along those.
Awful. He might have said it stunk, but he said awful was his first response.
It was awful. Yeah. I believe to give credit where credit's due, I think Sonone asked him about it. And he said it's awful. He's right. It's embarrassing.
Well, and Mark has it correct. If Hakeem is the one doing it, it's going to get executed.
I cannot fathom why you run that play and you have it in reverse.
Jaylen Brown blocking.
Jaylen Brown's tiny ass is blocking for huge Hakeem Williams.
And here's the kicker. If he even did it a little bit, it's an explosive.
Yeah. Pitiful. NoRetirement.com. Figure out the red zone for retirement. Best in the business, Artisan Financial Strategies. We'll come back. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A Tallahassee couple, both lawyers, are now suspended from practicing law in Florida. Sarah and Gabriel Warren were arrested in March for sexual battery. The couple took a plea deal for lesser charges and apologized to the woman they were accused of assaulting. The Florida Supreme Court suspended them from the bar on Wednesday. 3 people have been hospitalized following a car crash involving 5 vehicles near Florida A&M's campus. 2 people had minor injuries while 1 had serious injuries. The crash happened at the intersection of Adams Street and Lincoln. The crash is still under investigation. There are no further details available at this time. A precautionary boil water notice has been initiated for Tulkwin Electric Cooperative members living in the West Regional Water System. Members in this area could notice low water pressure and discolored tap water. Members in the advisory should bring water to a rolling boil and allow it to cool before drinking or cooking. Clothes also may be stained if washed with the discolored water. This is Rachel Anae with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Paul's Termite and Pest Control Tallahassee weather report.
Nice weather continues heading into the weekend and through the weekend with rain chances staying out of the forecast. Minus a slight chance of a stray shower, plenty of sunshine, highs around that 90-degree mark and into the lower 90s. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 69. Saturday and Sunday, sunny with highs near 90, lows near 70. Starting off next week, sunny as well on Monday with a high of 91. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
For the elimination of termites, pests, and for greener lawn too, call Paul's. They'll get them all.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor, or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all of these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, don't forget real quick before we wrap it up and get to some baseball for the weekend, and it's the nitty-gritty now. So baseball is getting ready to get into its second to last weekend, and obviously then we're looking at postseason. You can get 20% off right now, free shipping. Use the code WARCHANT at manscaped.com. Obviously, you've got the moist towelettes specifically for your boys. Got the boxers. You got the crop preserver, the anti-chafing salve and lotion for the boys. It's hot out there still, guys. Got the weed whacker for your nose hair and ear hair and all that ridiculous hair that's growing in places, pesky places you don't want. Got the crisp, clean look that you want with the lawnmower. You're all good. All these male products, 20% off, free shipping. Use the code WARCHANT at manscaped.com. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we got one more run in us, I think, of those blazing 105 heat indices. It's been too balmy for too long in September.
I'm angry about it, Tom. I get angry this time of year every year.
There's going to be one. Well, it's been okay. You know, the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour in the evening, this time of year, usually it's still unbearable. It's been nice, which means.
So you think we got one more terrible one starting this weekend, right? It's supposed to be really hot.
It could be, but there's going to be one in October where you say, really? Yeah, it's the trade-off. We got this a little early.
All right, fair enough. Pirates finally won last night. I'll get to those games in a second, give you your probables. I will say this really quick while we're on the subject of baseball. Yes, obviously, I documented what Shohei Ohtani did yesterday, which is insane. But I should make mention, I got to give the Cardinals manager, what's his name, Oliver Marmol, I think that's his name, made me laugh yesterday. We talk about reading managers' lips with the Marlins, of course. I mentioned him. Last night, he got thrown out. The Cardinals manager did against my Buccos because of an inside fastball that kind of tailed in. It was off the plate. It was called strike 3. And a little bit of frustration from the hitter, but not as much as from Cardinals manager and Cardinals hitting coach. And first, the hitting coach gets told to have a good day, and I couldn't hear what he said. Then the umpire got mad at the manager and turned to him and said, how do you know? How do you know from where you are? You can't see it? And he responded very calmly, neither can you. Got wrong. It was beautiful. I had to give him credit. You know, I hate the Cardinals, but it was awesome. He just calmly stared at him and he goes, neither can you.
That's an all-timer. Usually
bravo,
there's
bravo.
MFing,
oh yeah,
BSing. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get run over the decades of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it was great. He was just kind of like, yeah, man, this is rather ridiculous. By the way, another weird, crazy night in baseball. Guardians Twins again, 3-2 this time. You get the bottom of the 10th walk-off win, clinching a playoff spot for the Guardians. They're the second AL team to qualify for the postseason. The Yankees are the other. The Twins lost. Meanwhile, this is happening. This is a thing that is happening, and I'm getting a lot of joy out of watching the Twins blow this. They drop into a tie now with the Tigers for the third wild card spot because the Tigers won again and the Twins did not. They had a massive separation.
It was season over in Detroit.
Was crazy.
And now here they are.
Bravo, Braves fans. We're talking about gaudy numbers. 4 different Atlanta players hit 3-run homers. And according to the Elias Sports Bureau, that's the first time it's ever happened. Tim Kirchin used to say, I love watching baseball because something that you've never seen before happens every week in baseball. And I kind of rolled my eyes at that at first because that's the nostalgia that baseball bathes in. But I do love baseball, and it does have a greater history than most sports. But I think he's right. Every week I read something like that. There is something that happens every week where you go, well, that's never happened before.
Well, you had a 6-for-6, 3 home run, 2 stolen base, 10 RBI day yesterday.
Yes, you did. You had a day for the ages.
What? That's stuff like that is a college thing.
Yeah.
That is a college thing.
It's that's a massive college thing.
Yes, it's when they talk about 20 years later.
Yeah.
6-for-6, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases.
Wooden bat, big stadium.
Yeah.
World trying to get you out.
10 ribbies.
6 for 6, 3 bombs, 2 doubles, a suck it with the 2 stolen bases to boot. And oh, by the way, I'm going to lead my team to score 20 runs.
Well, and last night, my squad, for the first time in franchise history, has
10
scored
runs again.
10 runs in 3 consecutive games.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is they would have dropped 16 had it not been for the greatness, and I mean this, the greatness of Trey Turner.
Yeah,
dear.
He's fast.
Well, and he's got the arm strength to go with it. So he saved at least 3 runs in the first 2 innings.
He's really good.
Amazing plays. One to start a double play, one to just throw a guy out by a half a step that's fast. Then he hits a 2-run bomb. Oh my God. This guy's war in this game is he might get a 1.
Well, now you know how people feel when they watch Lindor. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really? This guy's going to do that? And then he's going to turn around and hit one upper tank? Great. This guy here, huh?
That's what he did.
It's a toughie.
That's a dude just taking over a ball game. Thankfully, we outscored him still.
Atlanta 15, Cincinnati 3. 4 different Atlanta players hit 3-run homers. Laureano in the 3rd, Olsen in the 5th, Soler in the 6th, Harris in the 9th. They believe, that's what I read this morning, I copied and pasted it to my notes, that is, according to the Live Sports Bureau, the first time that's ever happened. You can bet somebody is scouring through it. Man, those box scores. I got a book one time, Tom. I bought a book, very expensive book. I don't say that to brag. I say
most expensive.
No, I say that just because I felt this strongly about it. And
many pages.
It is
the most pages.
Perhaps it is. It basically was the history of baseball in box scores, Tom, from the first year that box scores that there were records of to 1997. So that the whole book is that, and it is kind of crazy and fun to go back in like 1888 and be like, oh, well, I see the boxcar Jimmy had 2 doubles on a Tuesday, because he was living on a train. That's what was going on with boxcar Jimmy. He slept on the train. Hit 2 doubles for Sheboygan and got back in that train.
That's why some people have said that they can't imagine a book with so many pages. Not with the spirals. This one didn't have the spirals.
No, didn't have it.
It was hardcover, most pages you've ever seen.
Cue it up. I got probables to get to here. Here we go.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Trevor Williams of the Nats. Jamison Tyon of the Cubs. They're in the 6th inning, 1-0 Cubs. Pirates, Reds, coming up at 6:40. Mitch Keller, not just screwing Mitch. Nick Martinez goes for the Reds. Blue Jays, Rays, Jose Barrios, Tyler Alexander. I can tell I'm tired. Tigers, Orioles, TBD, Corbin Burns. Phillies, Mets. Here we go. Let's go Mets. Christopher Sanchez and David Peterson.
Apple TV Plus. Yay.
Braves, Marlins. The Marlins have been oiled up for you, Atlanta, after that Dodgers series. Those poor people.
I'm hoping there was no oiling up, and so therefore they're very angry. Come on, fighting fish.
They gave up 20 last night. That'll hurt your feelings.
Did you know, very quickly, on Apple TV Plus, not that it matters to anybody anymore because the season's over.
I do watch when my team is on there.
You can replace the audio feed with your local radio. Like Apple TV Plus provides a very easy switcherooski.
I'll give you something just as good as that, buddy. I think the fact that Apple TV does a good job of bringing in the opposing play-by-play man and the opposing color man, so they'll have like a mixed booth.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
They do a good job with that. Anyhow, gotta give them credit. What was I talking about? Which game? Oh yeah, Braves Marlins.
Yeah, oiled up and so forth.
Yeah, Charlie Morton, Valentin Veloso. Twins, Red Sox. That's David Festa. Richard Fitz. Festa and Fitz. Mariners, Rangers, George.
I hope somebody gives Richard his nickname with that name, Fitz.
Yeah, would that be good? Oh, it's hilarious. I was trying to think of a way to hint to that.
If the Richard Fitz,
start
him.
Oh, Mariners, Rangers, George Kirby, Jacob deGrom. I take it to beer. Jacob deGrom on the year, 0-0 with a 0 ERA and 4 strikeouts. Provided a lot for the Rangers. D-backs, Brewers, Zach Gallen, Colin Ray. By the way, you cannot hit Zach Gallen on MLB The Show. It's Cy Young reincarnated. Every time I face Zach Gallen, I'm like, damn it, man. Giants, Royals, Mason Black, Michael Waka. Angels, Astros, Tyler Anderson, and Justin Verlander, whose wife is voluptuous. Guardians, Cardinals, Penn Lively, Kyle Gibson. White Sox, Padres, Garrett Crochet, good player. On a team that is bad for the ages. Joe Musgrove, former Pirate, going for the Padres. Yankees, A's, let's go A's. Garrett Cole, JT Ginn. Ever bought a shirt or a hat from a team you care nothing about solely because it's gorgeous?
Yeah. There's a Fenway one I have.
I'm going to buy that A's elephant one.
Oh, yeah.
That is so effing cool. That hat is awesome. And I'm sad that they're leaving Oakland. I'm going to get me one of those A's hats and wear it every now and again. That hat is the bomb.
Still struggling with Richard Fitz, to be honest.
Garrett Cole, JT Gin. Lots of gin drinking in
Proximo.
Oakland. Yeah, there he is. First quarter early. 3-3 game. He's tilting him back.
Seat license for this.
Rockies, Dodgers. Dodgers like, we don't care. We're TBD. Kyle Freeland going for the Rockies. Those guys can't wait to be on that golf course, buddy, in Colorado, where it's gorgeous. They've got 94 losses in Colorado. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Yes, since you're wondering, I'll let you know. The Pirates need just win 4 games in the remaining 9?
Yeah, you got 9 left.
Got to have 4 of them, and I hit the over.
Ooh, that's okay.
It's juicy.
It's a good sweat.
It's juicy. 4 and 5 gets it done.
Hopefully you guys are facing Richard Fitz in game 162.
We're facing Nick Martinez, who's good. But we've got Mitch Keller tonight, so not just screwing against Nick. It could be good. I need you, Mitch. Let's buck up and get to 73 wins tonight. We can do this. Good work out of you. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we'll do the pregame show. Then we'll come out and find you guys at Hotel Indigo at 4 o'clock. About to head over to the CP right now. You guys have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you. We'll be back on Monday. Peace.